One final may be over, but the other keeps on going, and let me tell you, I'm all here for it, and I think my friend is over here too. Hello and welcome back to The House That Happens, sponsored by Shoey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA. You know it's number 1 in our hearts, and it's the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Hello, I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name is Cruz, but you can call me Jack.
We can call you Jack, we can call you Cruz.
You can call
John?
me. Just don't. Oh, stop it there. Just don't call me late for dinner or a Leaf fan.
Okay.
Then I'm good. You know
I don't think anyone would confuse you for a Leaf fan. Don't worry about that.
Thank you very much. But we'll get to all of our fandom a bit later. But since you mentioned the 4 dive bars, 4 times best dive bar in the city, and we love it so much, there's been a lot of rumors floating around about the state of the environment we are sitting in right now. We are backing Serge Singh on this deal because he's got some things starting to roll.
Ooh.
Now, we're not going to give you a timetable. We're just taking it takes a little bit longer to get through the bureaucracy and the bullshit that's called the general public and putting a place back together. But Serge, we're shouting at you, and if anybody on the street asks me what's going on with Shoey's, you just heard it here right now. And for all of us that haven't got together, Wade, Johnny Mav, I won't even say anybody else because I got about a 10-minute list of people that'll be here. We will get back together and we will party.
Let's do it.
You got it.
Looking forward to having a big party here, hopefully by the time the NFL season rolls around in September.
100%.
Oh, there you go then.
100%, you know.
As always, we begin the show with shout-outs, and I think I know one shout-out that you may have.
The San Francisco Sluggers.
You got it.
Did I say it right?
You got finally.
Okay, people, we got to say something, and all the guys on our team that are listening, we have now an 8-3-1 record.
Woo!
Not only that, the team that we got forfeited a game because there was a little bit of a confrontation and ended up being a tie. Otherwise, we might be in first place. We beat them twice.
Nice.
On Tuesday night. Now, let me just explain something to you here. First of all, defense wins the game, guys. Hit the ball and we win. I want to just shout out to the guys that really did it. Cody, we came in relief. Pedro, our pitcher, got roughed up his leg, got an infection, one of our 60 years old. Shout out to you, Pedro. But Cody came out of the bullpen and rocked it hard. Led us to 2 wins, some great hits. But the best player on our team, I believe, the other night was our fearless leader and my son, Zachary Lee Cruz. You had an outstanding game. Please keep leading us like that. You know what I mean?
Shout out Zach.
Big time. He had a great game. I did force him out at second a couple times, but that's another story. I played good, bad, and ugly. That was my performance, but made plays at the right time. We're getting guys in the right position. Just remember this. As Zach said, when the playoffs come, things could be a little bit different in our lineup because everybody knows their position. Anthony's our all-star catcher, made 2 great catches to end innings with men on base. We had a little bit of an incident with our first baseman, who is Italian, John Bellardi. We've been telling John, and I hope you're listening because I know you are, John, open your glove to catch the ball. Now, he gives me a hard time because I don't have a very good throw. I made my best throw of the year, and he dropped it.
Oh.
But here's the real situation. John may be suffering through raccoon eyes because the first time in a long time, a shot came to him, went through his glove, and hit him in the nose.
Oh, shoot. Is he okay?
Yeah, he says he's fine. I heard a noise. The guy that hit the ball says, I think he broke his nose. We all thought he broke his nose. He says he didn't. He sent me a picture today. He is not. Okay, John, let's tell the truth. You were never cute, okay? But neither was I. So, being this case, you're not going to be cute tomorrow either. You know what I mean? But quick recovery. We expect you back onto the floor. Someone make sure we got our beer situation in for after the game. But most of all, the Sluggers are going forward. Kyle, you're going to be great. Don't beat on yourself all day. Dubs, you're going to make the calls that we need. And our infield defense is the best in this league. Go Sluggers.
Nice. I want to make a quick shout out to my buddy Matt. Happy birthday. The big 3-1. We'll be celebrating on Saturday. It's a triple birthday party / housewarming party, so that should be a lot of fun.
I hope there's a lot of designated drivers.
Yes, including myself.
Including yourself. I can just smell consumptions of copious amounts.
Yes.
I'm not going to say what. It could be just love, peace, and the air and the environment.
Well, that'll be there too.
Yeah, of course. A little of everything, just to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Any more shout-outs that you want to get through?
Yeah, we just want to mention one more thing, which is a melancholy shout-out to me, but it's very important at the very same time. Big shout-out to our boy Kevin Pick, who has got the ball rolling for the MCM tournament at Granite Ridge in September. I believe it's the 13th, but we're going to have further upgrades as we go along.
And if you don't know, MCM is Matt Cruz Memorial.
Thank you very much. It's easier for you to say than me, trust me. But in any event, Pick's doing a knock-up job. I heard Zach's backing him along the way. We're building some teams. We might even have a House That Happens teams, but that's down the road. We're going to let you go. But if you're interested in the MCM, which was an amazing success last year, that we've got Pick's coming on the show. I want to give him the flowers.
Yeah.
So he'll explain it all, but it's going to be an amazing, if it's half as good as it was last year, it's going to be amazing, and Pick's going to take it off the top because Pick's an amazing human being. I don't care what anyone else says, and undoubtedly, probably the closest friend to my son. These guys, they know each other. They met when they're 4.
Right.
They were tight as buddies, and he, as much as me and Zach are doing it, I cannot say thank you enough for keeping the memory of my son alive.
Shout out Kevin Peck.
Huge.
Anything else?
Just one other thing but we'll bring along the way. Do you think that sometimes the media is looking for sound bites?
Oh, they always are, of course.
Instead, why don't we just talk about the game? Like, we can talk about...
Well, the first rule of journalism is that you go to the primary source.
I give you that, okay? But number 2 is, like, do I have to keep my car parked in front of Marner's house?
Okay, there's going for sound bites, and then there's ridiculous.
Oh, is that ridiculous? Okay, then I was just...
Stalking, yes.
I was just making sure he was comfortable. Everything was going well for him. I tried to get in touch with Johnny Tavares, but he ain't talking at all. I heard he's golfing with his buddy Steve Stamkos, who says how much he likes Toronto.
Maybe he might like Utah, too.
We'll talk about that when we get to the hockey segment of the show.
We'll see if Marner likes Vegas, but...
By the way...
We've all seen that trade rumor. Come on.
Oh, we're going to talk about it when the hockey thing, but I won't let you answer till we get to the hockey segment of the show. But is Marner going to be one of the 6 announced next week for the Four Seasons tournament? They got to announce 6 guys. Why not? They're going to announce Marchand?
Is he one of the best 6 Canadians?
Is he better than Marchand?
I didn't say Marchand is either.
If Marchand is one of the 6, I'm going to be pissed.
I doubt either of them are going to be the first 6.
Okay, we'll talk about it when the hockey segment, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Sure. I got to pull up my Team Canada list that I made for 4 Nations just so I can give you my 6 guys that I would name.
We're going to talk about it. There was a great heated debate on it actually this week on Overdrive with a bunch of guys who were talking about it.
Which, by the way, how ridiculous. It's not even about the final roster. It's a heated debate about the first 6 players named. Let's chill for a little bit.
That was my point. They're playing on sound bites, not on facts. Which is great because this is a dead time of the year. Like, you realize a couple weeks, there's not going to be as much going on as we thought. Thank God we got Euro Cup, the Olympics in the future. And
Copa America
today, too, which we will talk about. But, it's going to be an interesting talk when we get to the hockey segment of the show, definitely.
Absolutely, and we will begin things like we always do with Formula One, and not really much to talk about, but just a little preview for the race in Spain this weekend. To be honest, I think it's going to go kind of a lot like last weekend.
Really?
Yeah. You don't think so?
I don't know. I think Sergio Perez better pull up his socks.
We've been saying that for, over a year now.
A month.
Going back to last year, though.
All you got to do, people, if you don't know and you don't understand, check the constructor points, not the driver's points. Mm-hmm. And you'll get an understanding of where this race is going to be insane till probably last 3 races of the year, which makes it more interesting for us people that are observing.
Well, don't forget as well that Red Bull has lost their development budget. So the Drivers' Championship could come closer as well. So
that's what I'm saying.
Long way to go.
You got it. And it should be even more hyped in Spain this weekend because we'll talk about the results for Spain very soon so that the country's on a high as we speak.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Next up, the U.S. Open, where one of my picks, Bryson DeChambeau, won the whole thing just barely by 1 stroke. Obviously, his performance was propelled by, or his score rather, was propelled by his days on Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
Obviously shot well the whole time, but the real story, though, is just how badly Rory McIlroy choked this away.
People are saying this is going to go down in history as a top 5 collapse in the history of the majors, which is a really sad state of affairs for Rory at this time, who has been the voice and the player on the tour. He's been on top 10 in I don't know how many tournaments. Look at now, he's taken the Travelers off. Obviously, he's stressed a bit. But he's going to go now to defend the Genesis. He's going to go and defend the Scottish Open. And not only that, he's going to be a front runner at the British Open, which I do believe is being played at Royal Troon, which is a course that he's very comfortable on.
We'll see. It's been a while since he's won a major, though. It's the search
10 years.
The search for 5 has been going on a long time.
Some people are of the belief now that this could be one of those losses that come up on you because you get older. Like he blew the Masters when he was 22 with a 5-stroke league. They're talking about this collapse, comparing it to Greg Norman, but I don't even want to compare Norman to frickin' Rory because Rory will never be the classless piece of shit that Greg Norman has turned out to be. But I'm glad they showed the shot that he blew the Masters on and lost to Jack Nicklaus when he thought he had the biggest dick in the room when he really didn't. And where is he loved? Is Norman loved now? And McIlroy
he's the opposite of loved.
There you go. And McIlroy is still a beloved guy in the tour. I'm telling you, it hurt me personally on this level. It was such a great tournament. Let's not take it away with it. Only 6 guys ended up under par for the whole tournament.
8.
Was it 8? Okay, 8 guys ended up on a tournament and a couple of guys even. The competition...
Including Corey Connors.
Yes, he did. He snuck in the back door, which means he'll be back there next year no matter what. The bottom line is Pinehurst number 2. If I shot that course, I would shoot 125, maybe 130. I don't know, because the greens were so insane. And I want to know, how did the rough turn into the indigenous dirt?
What does that mean?
Thank you. But I was just, he hit it in the indigenous, what do they call it? The indigenous grist, I didn't know what they were talking about at first.
Maybe it's just like that's actual whatever dirt or whatever that's actually indigenous to that land, I guess.
No, once upon a time there was people of that nature who inhabited that part of the world, maybe about 500 years ago. I don't know. Okay. I just thought it sounded politically correct until I figured out what they were saying, and then I was like, really? But anyways, what this does is this gave Liv a huge boost. Because the Liv guy comes over, and you always heard they don't play 72, they don't do this, they wear shorts, the music's too loud. And DeChambeau comes in and steals the show.
Yep.
But I think the tournament will be more remembered, not for the great player DeChambeau, but it will be remembered for the choke of Rory McIlroy, which is really, really sad for a guy of his stature, his class, his representation to the tour. Rough time, Rory, but they say a lot of times when you get to this age, when you're young and you screw up, you only got many more chances. At 35, how many more chances are you going to get, especially with some of the young bucks coming up along the way? The thing that really was interesting is hitting rainbow shots was the name of the game. A lot of guys can't hit rainbow shots. It was only a few guys. Aberg, the kid from Sweden, DeChambeau, Rory. Scotty Scheffler just had a rough week. He couldn't find a fairway to save his life. And maybe we'll never see Tiger Woods in a U.S. Open ever again, which is sad. I think he may show up, but come on, Tiger, the course is not yours. And next year it's at Oakmont, which is considered the toughest course in the history of U.S. Opens.
You'll probably be there, but...
Oh, but. And you know what comes after but. Yeah. Big shout out to his son who qualified for the U.S. Junior Tournament Championship, which Tiger won himself 3 times. No pressure on Charlie, eh?
No, not at all.
No pressure on Charlie. Good luck, kid. Another thing about Charlie, you know what? He should be glad he looks like his mother, not his father.
Oof. That's, we're not going to go there.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Love you, Tiger. Love you, Tiger.
Love you, Tiger.
Love you, Tiger.
We'll move this along to one of our favorites here, the Caitlyn Clark Report and the WNBA, where all of a sudden the Indiana Fever are surging up the standings, and they find themselves in that final playoff spot after a 3-game win streak.
Aren't you glad that I didn't do my usual Caitlyn Clark Report? We do some professional things in it, where my producer here, Milan, he says, Cruz, you know what you did in the show last week that sounded so stupid? I'm not going to do it again.
I appreciate that.
There you go. I don't mean to. It's just, the nature of my ridiculousness. Is that how you say it? But anyway, we do have a Caitlyn Clark Report. So I want to look at the Caitlyn Clark Report from the vantage point that we want to say, which we start with inside the lines, okay? They're on a 3-game streak. They won. Mm-hmm. They are now in a playoff position. We're going to talk about all the great rookies that are in the league. And if you really want to look at it, Aaliyah Washington and even Angel Reese have actually had better numbers than Caitlyn Clark.
Angel Reese actually just had a rookie record.
Oh, unbelievable.
Last night. But 7 straight double-double.
Yeah, and we're going to get to her in a minute, because a couple other girls like Cameron Brink, who had a great chance. She's going to play in the 3-on-3, and she had an outside chance of making the big team because of the dismissal of Brittany Griner. But
torn ACL, season done.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was something else. That's sad to hear. So there's an opening there. What I want to talk about is, if you look at the NBA standings, let's be honest right here, right now, we've got Connecticut, New York, Minnesota, and Seattle. they're all moving away from the pack. So whatever Caitlyn Clark does and Angel Reese does this year.
And we expect Vegas to
Vegas will come back because they
yeah.
got some injury problems. They're going to come back. So it's basically those 5 teams, as from what I can see, is going to do any damage. So the Angel Reeses and the Caitlyn Clarks are going to be put on the back burner for this year just because they got drafted high because they were on shit teams. That's just the way it goes. However, there's a couple things we should bring up that are going on. For example, when did Caitlyn Clark, the word I heard, which was just insane, when did she become a battering ram?
Yeah, for that cultural battering ram.
Is that not insane? Oh, because it concerns gender and race. So now we got 2 stupid things to talk about, not one.
The kids call it intersectionality.
Interesting word. I'm going to put that in my back pocket. But let's put it into perspective, okay? I think her name is Cheryl Snoops. She was a great player in the WNBA in her time. Hasn't got a good word to say about Caitlyn Clark whatsoever. There's a couple of other...
That's ridiculous.
Thank you. There's a couple other girls in the league. I don't want to ruin their names either, but since Snoops is out of the game and she's just being a bitch, I had to mention that. But there is
Fair
5
enough.
or 6 other huge players in the league. I'm not going to tell you what their sexual persuasion is because it shouldn't matter. But they're bringing this to the table. And this is what I don't understand. Aren't we supposed to be talking about the quality of the play on the court? Aren't we supposed to talk about, once again, my Tony Kornheiser quote, tide rises all boats?
Yep, the rising tide that floats all boats.
Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, have you seen the attendance for the last 3 games that Caitlyn Clark was at? She's hitting 17 a night, people. 17. And how do you like those charter
Those are
flights?
NBA numbers. Forget
Thank
WNBA.
You. What about those charter flights?
Yes.
Okay, girls, you ain't going on a bus. You don't have to talk to a guy like me. You got a big seat, private plane. Be quiet. But the period on the sentence to me, and I'm really glad this came out from one of the greatest athletes of all time, regardless, and to me personally, maybe the greatest female athlete of all time, was Serena Williams. Did you hear her quote?
I did hear what she had to say, and I loved it.
Oh, absolutely. I get a shiver now because look at her position. And look at back in the day. What did she say? If some of the things that were said to me when I was 17 or 18-year-old, they'd be canceled now. That's brutal.
Yep.
So she kind of is the opposite end of what's going on in
Sure.
a different sport. You know what I mean? Which wasn't fair to her. But as she has pointed out, which I thought was great, Caitlyn, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it better than everybody else. And one day you could be at the top of this league. So whatever you can do to eliminate the outside noise, let's do it. But what are our contemporaries saying? Oh, she should use her power. Oh, she should use her platform. Silence is a luxury. What kind of bullshit is this? Aren't we talking about basketball?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so I don't want to talk about the NAACP. I don't want to talk about Black Lives Matter.
I don't want to be your mouthpiece.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm getting at. Let the girl play basketball. Now, does she still have a turnover problem?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. So
She's up there in assists, though,
yeah,
to be fair.
And she's played some of the best basketball in her thing. But if we're really going to talk about it, Angel Reese, Aaliyah Edwards on Washington. Aaliyah Edwards on her. And what's her name that got hurt? Cameron Brink. They were playing equally as good as her as rookies. Sure. And now that there's a thing that's going away, I liked Kevin Durant's quote. Listen, we know that she is raising the tide, so to speak. But he says you still have to get in line due to your ability. Like, what are you going to bring to the court? And he says, yeah, all of her fans would love it. It would draw more eyes to the game. But just because you draw more eyes to the game, does that mean you're going to win?
Not necessarily.
Thank you. So let's, like as he said, he is all things Caitlyn Clark. But girl, guess what? When Kevin Durant was a young guy coming in the league, he kind of had to wait his turn. And,
sure.
And I'm glad that he brought it up that way. Nothing derogatory. Just the progression, the growth, and where you're going to be down the road. Thank you, Kevin Durant. Best thing he said in the last year.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, we'll see where Indiana goes the rest of the season. Of course, the big thing now is Rookie of the Year. Is it going to be Caitlyn Clark or is it going to be Angel Reese? Both of them making really good.
Angel is.
Yeah, both of them great candidates.
Can I just say one thing to Angel? Let's talk about your performance as a player on the court. Not that you smacked Caitlyn in the head and then you go to the press conference and you cry like a little bitch. Like, you're playing good too. We respect your talent as a player. Your attitude and what you're bringing to the game, it just all sounds derogatory, resentment, jealousy, stupidity.
Yeah.
That's where we'll end it at. Good luck, Caitlyn Clark and WNBA. You guys should be happy for your attendance going up and the eyeballs on the TV screen. Every girl in the league should have at least a modicum of gratitude for what Caitlyn Clark has brought to the game.
Absolutely. We'll end that there. Unfortunately, one team that doesn't seem to be progressing quite as well is our beloved Toronto FC, who lost another one last night versus Nashville 2-1 after losing 4-1 versus Chicago on Saturday. Barely hang on to that last guaranteed playoff spot right now, sitting 7th in the Eastern Conference. 7 wins, 9 losses, and 3 draws on the season so far. Things are not looking good.
Can you tell everybody the character I'm wearing on my shirt right now?
It's a caricature of Charlie Brown, but a Rasta Charlie Brown.
Anyways, the reason I'm bringing up Charlie Brown is because every time somebody brought something up, the answer would be, what would the adults sound like?
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah. That's what our buddy, what's his name? John Herdman, coach of the Toronto FC. Did you hear his last press conference?
No, I missed it.
He sounded a lot like, wah, 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 wah. Now, here's what I'm saying about Toronto FC. You're blowing everything right now. Remember 3 or 4 years ago when they had those 3 finals in a row and they were up there?
It was like 3 finals in 4 years, but yeah.
And they won a championship, okay? Do you know what the attendance of the game was on Saturday night?
Oh, I would guess like 12,000?
28,500.
Wow.
And what did they do?
They puked it up to Chicago, who's not even a good team.
Not only that, what respect did you have for your fan base? At least give it a competition. 28,000 people showed up.
And those tickets aren't cheap.
No, and they got a thing like that to get for the surge forward, and they blow it now. No disrespect, but okay. I'm just looking. I'm looking at it this way. All I hear is this team may not be the same as what it was before due to expiring contracts. Scouts in Europe already looking for guys that they're going to bring over. Now, you and I have discussed this when we're off the air. Bring in guys that are going to play the system, not because of their name.
I mean, that was the idea with Insigne and Bernadeschi. Just hasn't worked out. Especially with Insigne, how much they're paying this guy. Was he, 4 goals, 4 assists on the season? That's it?
And he's a popular player in your community.
Was.
Okay, is that the word was? But in any event, I'm not, you know what I think? We don't want to dog on these guys, but we've discussed this. Toronto FC should not be a country club, and it should not have a country club attitude. No. We should be a premier franchise in this MLS league because you know what? A lot of players from Europe and a lot of players from South America do want to come to Toronto due to the nature of the city. The word is out. We're a great city, world class if you want to call it that. I don't know what that means. But I'm very disappointed in the fact that they're not respecting the fan base. You know what I mean? I think the Argos will bring up soon. They don't get that kind of a crowd. They put everybody on one side of the field so it looks good during the freaking commercials.
They get monster TV numbers, though.
Well, we'll give them that. But I was when I heard the attendance for the game and then I seen the results, I went, oh, come on, guys. Really? But we're going to stay with them because they're in a playoff spot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For now.
And, well, we're going to see where that goes. But good luck to Toronto FC. But the big thing I want to shout out is to each and every fan that goes down and supports this team. God bless you all, man. God bless you all. You're watching some good, bad, and ugly right now, but by the end of the season, maybe they're going to pull their socks up and give us a run.
Hopefully.
However, look at the top teams in the league. Yeah, okay, correct answer. Till next week, TFC better win tonight.
Exactly. Or Saturday night.
Saturday night, sorry.
We'll move this on to their roommates, I guess. The Toronto Argonauts are home this Saturday versus the Edmonton Elks. Edmonton, obviously not in the best form, so this one, there's no gimmies, but this should be a gimme for the Argos.
It's the second game, right?
Yes.
Why do they take so long in between games? Is it because of that 18
well, it's because
schedule?
there's 9 teams, so someone's going to have to get a week off, right? Last week just happened to be the Argos' week off.
In any event, I don't like the fact that I've heard talking heads in the city who get on big-time sports shows obviously don't know enough about the Argos because they say they don't have a quarterback. What did the quarterback do last week in that game?
It looked pretty good.
I'm just saying, before you start...
What's his name, Dukes? Cameron Dukes?
Yes. Why would you rag on a guy that just threw for how many yards? 300 and some yards?
But he's not Chad Kelly.
Oh,
He's
stop
not Chad Kelly.
The bottom line is he got the W. It was more on the defense than him.
He didn't throw a pick.
Didn't throw a pick. and the defense almost let him down, and he made the late game comeback win. So we're expecting big things from you, Cameron.
That's a quarterback. That's a leader.
That's right, but they've got the running back and that big old line.
Yeah.
So should a lot to do with it. So we're hoping for a 2-0 start to our Toronto Argonauts, who are, represented here by the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, Shuey's Barn Grill.
Yeah, the home of the Argos fan club, basically.
Thank you very much. We're shouting out, Serge. I told you we ain't going to forget about him. Got my Ricky Williams jersey ready to go to the game.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. Oh,
it's a great jersey, and God bless my son. He was the one that got it at the time. We got a great picture of him in it in the middle of my weed garden before everything was legal.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to bring it out now. I went to put it on social media, and my son, bless his soul, Dad, get that shit off there. But it's a funny picture. Don't you know where I work? Get this off. Now I guess it wouldn't matter. But at the time, he found no humor in that. Now,
where'd he work?
Oh, he worked just down the road here at Data. He was he was just about to move up to almost a management position, so he was trying to keep himself clean as a whistle. I don't need Dad's encouragement. However, my older son, Zach, he thought it was kind of funny.
Sure, I'm sure he did.
I mean, 2 out of 3 Cruz got a sense of ha-ha out of it, so why didn't he? That's how it goes. Anyway, good luck to the Argos this weekend. We really hope they're winning because we're going to go down and see a game.
Absolutely.
We're going to go to support them.
With the rest of the Shuey's crew.
With the crew.
To the Argos' former roommates, the Toronto Blue Jays, who just got swept for the first time this season, which kind of shocked me when I heard that.
And who did they get swept against?
The Boston Red Sox. Our least favorite ball club here, can we say?
I would say definitely number one. Number 2 is, where did they lose these 3 games?
At the Dome.
Come on, guys. Like, you could have come in, you just gave Cleveland 2 out of 3, practically one of the top teams in baseball.
Probably should have won that series.
Probably should have won. Keep talking about the bullpen. That's on Shapiro and Aikens, by the way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Hey, Swanson, Romano, how you guys doing? Just wondering. In any event, the bullpen's a little bit depleted, but you got to make it out when we do it. Like last night, they just puked it up. You know, Gozman struggled, but he got him to where he's got to go. He left with the lead, and what ended up happening?
Well, he had a quote last night that I thought basically sums up the season where it's like, if we don't pitch well, we're not winning.
100%. But, I mean, he didn't pitch bad. He only gave up 2, didn't he? Or 3? 3 over 6?
I thought he did worse. Let me see.
No, I think it was only 3 over 6, or 3 over 5 2/3.
4 over 5 2/3, including 2 home runs.
Yeah, they were bad. The famous when Gosman's breaking ball doesn't break, souvenir time. Now, what I want to talk...
the batters are hitting 267 against him this year. That is not good.
So we have a situation with the Blue Jays that if you watch MLB Network, they're like... looking at the Toronto Blue Jays is like the mouse that caught in the trap and is trying to get himself out. And they're saying they're never going to get out, which I don't believe in. But let's just look at what's happening here.
We're back last place in the AL East, so.
Okay, there you go. No top 50 run producer. Bottom 5 in ERA in the league. There is now, 6 teams that are in front of us. Okay, and the only 2 that have run differentials that are minus are Tampa Bay and Toronto. So not only we have 6 teams that we got to go at to just get into the wild card, we've got a run differential that could be the tiebreaker, and we lose anyway.
Yep.
The big thing is like I said, there's 6 teams in front of us, and I'm worried about the loss column because we're not catching Baltimore and we're not catching the Yankees.
No chance.
Cleveland's comfortably ahead, and Minnesota and Kansas City are starting to slowly get those extra steps. Now, what we have looked at, let's just decide, let's tell the world what are the next 4 series before the All-Star break for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, boy. So we have, next up is a 3-game weekend series at Cleveland.
Uh-oh, and they're going to be pissed.
Then you have 3 games at Boston, who just kicked our ass. 4 games at home versus the Yankees.
Got to split that one.
4 games at home versus Houston.
Who are on the rise, but they just lost Villander to the IL.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've kind of fallen back a bit, so that you should be able to win a few there. 3 games at Seattle, 3 games at San Fran, and 3 games at Arizona, and then it's All-Star break.
I'm saying we better play at least 500. If we're 5 games under 500 at the All-Star break, guys, mail it in. Now, there's 2 things that are very significant about this team because we're talking about renewing contracts and where we're going in the new future. Bo just got put on the DL.
10-day DL.
They're going to retroactive. Is that maybe because he's had this problem for a while and he's been trying to work his way through it? because it's obviously affecting his hitting. And
Sure.
And not only that, he can't go to the hole to get a ball. So there's something.
A big issue for your shortstop.
Huge. So, Bo, we're hoping for have a great recovery here. Take him off the trade list. Number 2 is, I don't give a damn what kind of haircut that Vladimir Guerrero gets. Hit the goddamn ball.
And he also just got voted into the All-Star game, so we should congratulate him for that.
I think he got that through osmosis, but congratulations.
Well, it's a fan vote.
There you go. So congratulations that he's getting there, but I think too much is made of too little when a man gets his haircut. All he did is get a haircut.
Well, I mean, he had the braids. That was his trademark look. And now he looks like dad. That's kind of cool.
I know, but when he takes his hat off, he looks like somebody in Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. You know, with the shave in the top. Oh,
yeah.
First thing I thought of, Fat Albert. He looks like Weird Harold. You know what I mean? But that's okay, as long as they get playing. And I do want to get one of those city connected
jerseys, yeah.
Oh, they're so cool. You know what I mean? A lot of teams have that color motif, but the Jays with the front on it looks all good.
Don't look great in person, but on TV they look nice.
Yeah, they don't look as good in person?
No. Just looks like dark. Blah.
Oh, gee, I better take a look at them live. I guess.
I mean, if you're right in front of someone, it's different. But like viewing the players on the field wearing them, it's...
Okay, maybe I'm just a guy that likes ugly jerseys. I just want to go around the team for a minute here. Number 1, we're a team that's supposed to play a modicum of defense, and we still don't communicate well on some defensive issues here, including our guys in the outfield, who 2 guys got gold gloves.
Well, fielding percentage isn't a perfect metric, but we're 18th in the league.
We should be inside the top 10, not even
Agreed.
thinking about this. It shouldn't even be a question. We should be there. But then again, we got a different third baseman every day. We can't put Kiermaier in center field all the time because he can't hit. Justin Turner is well past his before date.
Best before date.
Before date. And Vogelberg, when are they cutting him?
I heard he was being cut.
Got to.
Yeah.
What does he do? Eat pizza in the clubhouse when he's not playing? I don't know. Maybe he's having a couple beers. I like the guy as a person. Not making it as production.
No.
Got to separate it. Got to separate that there. I'm really, we've been talking about this for a while, Mr. Milani, and you know this. We're worried about August.
Oh, yeah.
We're worried.
I'm worried about July.
Okay.
Forget August.
I'm just hoping for the best till the All-Star break. I want to give a shout-out to George Springer, who has taken the high road, considering all the abuse the guy has taken.
Mm-hmm.
Bad press, the whole 9 yards. Every game he's playing just as hard. You couldn't tell if he's hitting 320 or 220. He's playing just as hard. I give that man a lot of credit. And our guy with the 3 names, who I never say...
Kiner Falefa.
Got to have him on the field every game just for his
Absolutely.
defense. He makes a big hit when we're going to need it. Most importantly of all, I'm of the belief, and I think I told you this, be careful who you want to get rid of at the trade deadline. Because the hardest thing to acquire is good starting pitching. And the Sparky Anderson, my hero, says, if you don't have good pitching, what's the deal, bro?
You're not making the playoffs?
You ain't making the playoffs. Now, we've got a modicum of 4 starters, which are up and down at this moment. Even though Barrios has to be a candidate for Cy Young. Maybe his numbers aren't high enough now. And Francis gave us 4 good innings the other day. Can we ramp him up to 6? Or do we bring up one of the kids? I don't know. But I mean,
give him 5 innings first, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they get a pitch count on him, like Garrett called it, like that. So, but I'm saying I hope he's going on. In any event, the number 1 problem with the Toronto Blue Jays is they can't what?
Can't hit.
If you can't hit some of the time, or a modicum of time, maybe that's what they call the show, a modicum of a mess. The bottom line is you ain't going nowhere. Our runners in scoring position is just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. And we still have a guy I like a lot. Schneider is not a leadoff hitter.
No, absolutely not.
220 starting the game.
Yeah.
Gets a big hit in the 7th inning with nobody on base. And leave him at second base, no more outfield.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. We've said that on the show.
We're not going to stop. Anyway,
does not look great in the outfield, but second base, I like him there. He can be my second baseman all day.
I'll leave him there. The bottom line is I'm still going to go to a series this year, regardless of what the Jays do, just because I want the experience of seeing how badly they could play over 3 games in a row live.
Oh, boy.
I hope I'm wrong. Hope they have a sweep.
Glutton for punishment over here.
You know what I mean? Listen, you like a team, you got to stick with them, good, bad, or ugly. You know that.
Fair enough.
You know, and in any event...
but you are the guy who's telling people to stop going to the games, which is a little ironic.
Okay, but you know what? I'll stop that. Please keep going to the game. You know, attendance is down a bit, eh? But here's the cheesiest thing that I've ever heard coming from an organization out of Toronto. Did you hear this? I fell off my couch. The Toronto Blue Jays organization has just sent out a memo, email, or letter to all the season's ticket holders, hoping that they will upgrade their tickets before the trade deadline. Why are you laughing?
That's a good one. That's funny.
Oh,
That's the best joke I've heard all day.
thank you very much.
I didn't know Atkins and Chaparro were comedians. Oh, boy.
Can you believe that? Never happened in the history of the Toronto Blue Jays, who are almost 50 years old.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Thank you very much.
That's ridiculous.
What is that telling you? Can you pay up before we dismantle the team?
Desperate.
Maybe, but I think that they should have faith in their fan base. That and to me, that's a disrespect to the fan base, or
Of course, it's a disrespect to the fan base.
Or you're pulling their chain. Like they usually say this in September. Okay, they usually
for next year.
Yeah, next. No matter what the Jays are in that position, because you know they're on September 1st. They usually ask for it around September 1st, around the Labor Day weekend. They start canvassing for the opportunity to renew season's tickets.
The middle of June?
Stop it! No, they said by the All-Star break. Or before the trade line. But anyway, the date that came up is suspiciously 48 or 72 hours before the trade deadline.
Right before they dump Kikuchi?
Trade Bo.
Oh.
Dump the team. I don't know. I think Bo and Vladdy are staying. I don't know. Anything could happen. They got rid of Biggio. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy. What's his name? Cameron Maben.
Yeah.
I seen him on the show the other day talking about baseball, and this guy had the greatest saying of all time. First of all, every day you come in, if you're not focused, you're going to lose. Yep. Number two, if you're hitting 180, you can't pimp a walk. If you are hitting 175 and you double off the wall, don't give me any histrionics, especially if it's in the 8th inning and you're losing by 6 runs. He brought this point up, and I've been noticing a lot of players now. I don't mind bringing a flair to the game, but at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he had a very, very good point about players dogging it, players not taking attention, players in this day and age with agents telling them what to do, nobody wants to listen because they've already been coddled and doing this. But like he had an interesting thing, and he said, for all the hitting woes in the Toronto Blue Jays, why isn't someone coming up and saying, Cruz, the next 20 at-bats, this is what you do. Milani, your next 20 at-bats, this is what you do. Let's not be concerned with the results. Let's see if you can apply the technique, and maybe we'll move forward. But if you're just doing the same thing every time.
Well, how many hitting coaches do they have? I think we've
752.
Talked about, that's the problem. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Exactly. So how do you change that?
Fire a few. Nail it down to hitting coaches like 2 max.
Oh, I know. That's what I say too. But then you got like Edwin hanging around the dugout.
Is that necessary though? I like Edwin. You know this.
But he speaks Spanish.
Oh God.
I don't know.
That's the only reason. If that's the only reason why he's there, then we have a problem.
I have no idea.
I'm just saying.
I agreed, but I don't know. I see him every game, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
You know, and I love that he's there. But what is he doing?
Well, he's there to be a cheerleader. It looks like.
Then put him in a skirt. Come on.
There's male cheerleaders too.
That's true too. They do those great flips and calisthenic moves, so I'll give them that. But okay, that's I don't want to. We can't really talk about the Blue Jays anymore at this point in time because we're just going to start beating a dead horse. We're just hoping for the best that we can possibly get. But I think there's a few other notes around the league that we should talk about.
Yes, first of all, you alluded to this before, but Garrett Cole made his first appearance back for the New York Yankees last night. Pitched 4, allowed 2. Not a great start, but he's back in the lineup, which is obviously huge for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, it was on a pitch count, too.
Yeah.
So he was at a 65 pitch count. I think he threw 62. He said his arm was loose. It was okay, which is a terrible thing to hear from the Toronto Blue Jays, because that means we got him coming to town. He's going to start against us.
Sure.
You know when that's going to happen. Another thing I want to shout out to is I'm very sorry to hear about Mookie Betts being gone for 6 weeks.
Yes.
That hurts. I mean, the Dodgers have a couple other injury problems, and they also lost a starter. I forget which is. I don't know if it's Singer or the other guy, but they've lost a starter. So suddenly that's going to make, which we'll talk about in a second, this whole insanity called the National League.
Yes.
I want to say, even though I hate Baltimore with a passion, very sad to hear that Bradish is gone for the year. Mm-hmm. Which is a big setback for Baltimore, who at the time is arguably had one of the strongest staffs in baseball. Now they're looking for a 5th starter. What are we going to do? Trade Kikuchi to Baltimore?
Oh, please do not. Trade him to the National League as far as possible, please.
I was hoping like somewhere like San Diego, who's righted the ship. Who's right, is it? After a 9-game losing streak, they're still above 500, so you got to give them credit. If you lose 9 in a row and you're still above 500, or they're at 500?
2 below 500.
Okay, so once upon a time, they got out of that. And the funniest thing is, and I looked this up, and I'm still laughing, Grimace has now made a name for himself in baseball.
With the New York Mets of all teams.
I like him because he's purple.
You're a purple guy?
100%.
Oh, yeah, we know you've mentioned this, I believe, on the show that you're a Barney the Dinosaur guy, too.
Huge. Love that. But I never got Sesame Street. Love Barney. Oxygen is your friend. Hold your girlfriend's hand. I loved all that. Singing in the circle.
Yeah.
He wasn't selling air, you know what I mean, or jumping out of a garbage can. He was just being Barney. I got a Barney sheet and a Barney pillow.
There you go.
And when you see my purple guitar, there's a Barney logo on it.
I love it.
Yeah, but in any event,
but you hate the Minnesota Vikings, so the purple stops there.
They messed the whole thing up for me personally. But I thought it was very weird because baseball has more silly nuances going on than any sport.
Well, we mentioned how the carts driving the relievers, you know, it's only certain ones, but
that's another thing. They just have cool ass shit going on. And we don't hear about it enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so Grimace threw out the first pitch at a Mets game on June 12th. They won their next 7 games. They lost last night, but still 7-1 since Grimace threw out your first pitch. I'll take that.
And McDonald's put a little Mets thing up with Grimace in their thing. So McDonald's giving you a shout out. Woo! Good for the like the Mets need it.
Exactly.
Like the Mets need it. But it's good to see around because if the New York teams are better, then they see if things are going to go better. Another interesting that came on is that Royce Lewis guy in Minnesota, 9 home runs in his first 15 games. Insane. Just crazy. I don't know how long it's going to happen, but kid, when you're that hot, run with it.
Keep swinging that bat.
We might not even hear from him for 50 games from now.
Sure.
We don't know. But the fact, 9 home runs in 15 games coming in.
It's incredible.
Guy's got speed, too.
Yep.
Speed and power. He's a guy I heard someone try to tell me, I think it was Steve Phillips, a former GM, said that once upon a time that the Blue Jays had a look at this guy. Like coming up, like he had a chance. Like when trades came up, his name came up in some of the trades, but Minnesota kind of backed off a bit. Obviously, they knew what they were doing, right? Yeah. Another thing is when they say players switch teams, how come every time they go to the Dodgers, they get better?
It's a good
Mac
system.
Muncy,
You're surrounded by good players too, which always helps.
The organization, maybe?
Yeah.
Because they make you say, no, that's not how we play baseball here.
Well, and a lot of it too, baseball is one of those ones where like if you're insulated by like good players around you, that's going to help you maybe more than any other sport.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Especially with being there every day.
Yep. Oscar Hernandez.
I'm saying, Max Muncy, I forget the kid that's playing in left field or whatever, but the 3 of those guys, they grabbed onto him and they all had supposedly deficiencies. Mm-hmm. All 3 of them are having solid seasons on a first-place team. Even though they've lost Mookie for 6 weeks, I still think they'll be able to maintain their first place.
They're fine.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up about baseball before we go, and it's just the old-fashioned way that things have happened. Did you see what went on in the Baltimore Yankees series?
I did not.
Judge got dinged in the hand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's going to be, although it's not that serious.
They're not sure. He missed the next game, which Baltimore stole. Okay? But what happens is Rodriguez said, hey, Gunner, how's your ribs? So you know what happened there.
Right.
I seen this Gunner guy, watched it 3 times. I've never seen a guy walk down to first base with that much smoke coming out of his ears. Not do a thing. Like I was just waiting for him to bolt at the mound. But then again, he's smart enough to know suspension. They're chasing the Yankees.
That's it. You eyes on the prize.
Eyes on, good way to put it. But I'm telling you, the boy was pissed. And then what ended up happening, somebody got plunked in the 9th again. So keep your eyes open for the rest of the season. Because,
oh, yeah.
And they're now with what? Within 1 of each other?
1.5.
1.5. And what's the loss column? I think they're tied?
Yes, they are.
There you go.
So this one's going to go down to the wire.
And they're both making the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
Before we go on baseball, could I ask you a question?
Sure.
No, wait a second. Before we go there, I'll ask you this question. I'm going, how did 9 teams in the NL...
How are they within a game and a half?
Of each other for the wild card.
And that's incredible.
9 teams. Not 1, not 5,
and
not 7.
And none of them, I should say, are above 500 or even at 500. They're all below 500
Are they
teams.
all below 500? I thought one was...
No, Arizona is the highest, and they are 37-38.
When you told me
And they're holding on to the second wild card spot.
Okay, well, I flipped over to the MLB network. They're acting like this is the greatest thing that's happening in baseball because they're bringing attention to all the fan bases. I'm saying there's got to be a level of incompetence if all the teams are under 500.
I mean, that's just the way the National League is, though. It's very top-heavy. The Phillies, the Dodgers, the Braves, they tend to take all the oxygen. The Brewers as well, they tend to take all the oxygen out of the room. And these teams are just scrapping. So, I mean, I love this story as well. I'm going to be tracking this for the rest of the summer.
Oh, me too. Milwaukee's another organization that should embarrass the Jays. Considering what they've done, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to go there. But I think it's absolutely, and I did not know that. I thought one team was at 500, but I looked at all the other teams, and they're all a game and a half. They're all within 3 in the last column. This is going to be mayhem for the rest of the season, and every one of those fan bases, including Cincinnati, Arizona, like I said, probably not going to make it. They're in there. San Diego, 9-game losing streak, not out of the race.
They're literally the next team up.
That's what I'm saying. And the Mets are crawling around in there.
Yep.
It's just, it's fascinating for the fans.
Sure.
You know, number one, because I don't want to hear, if you're in a city like ours and how much we like the Jays and all those cities, if your team can have games that mean something in August and September, isn't that why we want to watch?
That's why we watch the games.
Thank you very much. Let's hope that race keeps us entertained for the rest of the year. Before we leave baseball, is there anything else you want to say? Because I'm going to ask you something, and you may not like this.
Ask away. We'll see how much I like it or not.
When is Trevor Bauer going to be back in the major leagues?
I don't have an answer.
Why can't Toronto go after him? Why is someone afraid?
Maybe he's blackballed.
Okay.
Or blacklisted.
Okay, so he dropped his suing charges. All the charges against him were thrown out. There's no criminal record. He's been banned to Mexico. He's been banned to Japan. The guy's throwing good. He's only 33 years old. He's built like a tank. Now, he did some minor problems down there. What my thing is, I thought America was always about the great comeback story. Or is this story just so dirty that no one's ever going to give him the time of day?
That's what I fear.
Now, let's cut to the chase on this. There's nothing good to say about this situation. However, I'll go to the one thing that our Prime Minister's father said, that the only thing that I've respected, how did he put it? The events of the bedroom are not the events that happen in the House of Commons or something like that. Okay, so this is a personal issue. Now, personally, I never thought I would be sexually excited punching my wife in the face. You know, like, that just doesn't arouse me. Tying her up and beating her with a stick, that's never entered my mind. Taking her out for dinner with black eyes, that's just
risky.
At best, was a dog. He was wrestling with the dog. In any event, the reason I'm bringing it up is this guy's still a talent. You know what I mean? With all the pitching problems in the Major League right now, I'm surprised somebody hasn't taken the chance to bring him over. But like we're talking about here, this is, I don't know where to put it on, I don't know,
I sense collusion.
I do too, and I think it's hideous. Whatever went on, this is insane. He's a 220-pound man. She's a 115-pound woman. Wait a second here. And I watched a lot of stupid things in my days, okay? I've never, let's flick to the next channel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm maybe because I have as you did too, there's a certain way that we are brought up that's invested in us to be men. You know what I mean? Like, you know, to respect, especially the respect thing, not just for all people, but especially for our women. So I think that what has happened is that the level is so high that women's groups will not give this guy a chance. That's what I believe. I think it is either. So Trevor, I always thought he was a bit of a schmuck.
Sure.
Let's talk.
I agree.
I thought always the guy was a bit of a schmuck. Had a great breaking ball.
Well, the funny one that always stuck in my mind was when he was with Cleveland pitching in that ALCS against the Jays. Didn't he hurt himself in a drone accident?
Oh, retarded.
Yeah.
Tried to grab the drone. He forgot the blades are going around.
An idiot.
Well, that's the reason maybe you're not getting in the league. You still got that drone, Trevor?
Oh, no. Also him losing his mind on Terry Francona. That's another one that stands out.
Well, you know what? Because he thought he was bigger than life. You know, and
I
obviously
thought he's bigger than the team.
And that too. And everybody look at the contract that the Dodgers gave him. That's mad.
Huge.
Mad money. But you know what? It got vetoed on the moral turpitude clause. So I don't know. He stopped suing the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring back the character of Trevor Bauer. Let's end it up here. We'll probably never bring him up again. I just thought it's interesting that all the people that are really looking for a starting pitcher, and he's sitting there with great stuff in another league, and he may never pitch in major leagues again.
Yep. One more thing before we get off baseball. Baltimore is currently killing the Yankees 14-5, end of the 7th inning. So they're going to be within half a game.
Ooh.
At the end of tonight.
And that'll be one more loss column. There'll be one in the loss column.
The Yankees, yeah.
You know what? I don't know what team I hate more. I hated Baltimore for so long when I was a kid. I just respect the fact that they went to the bottom and then came all the way back to the top.
Yep.
Got to give them credit for that. They're going to be there in the end, I believe, anyway.
Absolutely.
Any more baseball talk?
No, we will move this on to Euro 2024. We are basically halfway through the group stage matchups, and it's looking like a good tournament. What are your initial impressions of this tournament?
I'm absolutely fascinated by whatever country's playing and the style with which they want to attack with the ball. Okay, so now what I do now when I start it, because I forgot, there's 10 guys on the field. Do you play
11 including the keeper?
Oh, I'm not talking about the keeper.
Yeah.
Okay, 11, but I'm just saying the other 10 guys. What do you play? 3-2-3-2? Do you play 4-2-3, whatever? But
depends on your personnel usually.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting the way they go. For example, when you see France play, those 4 guys in the middle move like this. It's so cool. You know what I mean?
They move like on a line.
Yeah,
basically.
they move it, and never. All the other guys run around and do their crazy ass shit. But those 4 guys, I guess they're midfielders.
Yeah.
They move like like in the old hockey game when you had the stick and you move the guy up and down on
Bubble
it.
hockey.
Yeah. They play like that. Denmark plays in squares.
Yep.
That's so bizarre, but it works. You know what I mean? And your team
play like a bunch of bums.
I was like, no, they don't play bum. I don't understand.
I have been very impressed with Italy throughout these first 2 games. They allowed just a horrible throw, and I don't know what the hell was going on there. Fastest goal ever in Euro Cup history.
Done.
23 seconds in.
Way to go, Italia.
Yeah. I mean, I love the way they came out those next 2 goals after, but after that, it was just like, we're going to let it off the gas, just sit back and hold off for the win, especially the second half. There was no pressure at all, no urgency.
But you know what?
Which is crazy because that's gotten Italy into so much trouble throughout the years. I've seen this time and time again. I'm not feeling good going into this game against Croatia on Monday.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Historically, we have not played well against them.
Well, we're going to go through let's go through the groups right now because there's a lot of crazy things that are happening. We'll get to Italy in a second. But I just want to congratulate Germany in Group A, who we said skating forward.
Yep.
They got that. I got his name in the paper here. Musiala. That guy's magic. He's magic. You see him move around?
Only player with 2 goals this tournament.
And he's like
so far
eel through seaweed. Oh, no, there's lots going to be my guys are going to go. But what made it interesting is before this tournament started, I said Hungary, who hasn't lost all the way to the qualifying. Whoops.
What'd I tell you?
Whoops. First of all, didn't they get
qualifying in the big show?
2 different ball games.
Completely different things, yeah.
I think they're the first person out now because they've already lost to Switzerland, right?
No, they still have to play Switzerland.
Okay, so who do they?
Oh no, sorry. No,
Yeah.
they did lose to Switzerland and they lost to Germany. They got Scotland next.
So they're done. They're done. They're not going anywhere. Germany's going ahead. I think the big game now is going to be Scotland against Switzerland, right?
Scotland-Hungary.
Scotland-Hungary.
Yeah.
Scotland's going to have to win that game to even have a wild card shot.
Absolutely.
Because Switzerland...
Hungary, they have a slim chance if they win too, but slim, like...
I think Switzerland's got a better chance now. I think they're going to be the number...
Oh, they banked 4 points. They're in a great spot.
That's what I'm saying. And what? Scotland's got 1.
Yeah.
Hungary's got none.
None.
So that put Germany right in the qualifying round, right
automatically
up top, which was with the whole country lost their mind. But
all they need is 1 point against, was it Hungary?
No, they got to play Switzerland.
Or Switzerland, excuse me, and that sets them off into the...
And you know what they're going to
win that group. But I mean, I suspect they're going to go for the win.
Oh, they are for the home fans, but they're just going to do that control game and the drive, and they're going to go. Germany, like I said before, not only are the home team, they're just a damn good freaking football team.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're going to come out. My pick was Hungary to come out, which is obviously a horrible pick. I don't know who's going to come out. I'm really cheering for the Scots, but they're in deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're in deep. So You know what I'm saying? But we'll have to wait and see. Germany, congratulations. First team to go on. Home team, home country, and they're going to go on. What are you thinking about Group B and your boys?
Well, I gave my piece about Italy just before. Croatia, that game's going to make me real nervous. We really need that draw today against Italy or against Spain, rather.
Well, you got to look at it this way, okay? Croatia and Albania tied. That's the best thing that happened for you guys.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
So what do we got now? Croatia.
But it's going to be all hands on deck for Croatia now.
Oh, it has to be 100% because Croatia's...
Italy doesn't tend to do well in these games.
Well, if they get a tie, they're in.
Agreed.
I'll go, okay? I feel bad for Albania.
Sure.
First of all, they're not a powerhouse. They played hard. Both games, I love the way they played. They were on attack mode. They played... Their defense wasn't the greatest, but I think that they had...
Keeper was a little shaky. Very.
That's what I'd say for sure. He let in a bad one. But outside of that, I thought Albania showed up, had a good showing, even though they lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll give them there. So it looks like to me, I'm still going to say this. I thought that Spain and Croatia both would come out of Group B and Italy would be the wild card. But I think they'll play for a tie against Croatia if they get ahead or not.
Oh, that's bitten Italy in the ass before, too.
I agree. But the way they play that defense sometimes, they can control the ball for like 20 minutes. It's just how it happens if there's one break the other way.
Yeah, but I mean, today, they didn't have the possession battle on their favor, did they? Spain just completely outclassed them every which way. Italy didn't even have a shot on net.
Not a shot? I thought
one shot, but it didn't hit the net. They missed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's basically shots in soccer are basically shot attempts in hockey.
Okay, I got you. I just said I do think Spain looks good. That's an
very,
understatement.
very good.
So they're coming out of there no problem. I do believe that there not be a third place coming out of this Group B, which I originally thought there could be, but I'm not so sure now. Because I think what's going to happen is Italy's going to win. Croatia's not going to have enough that goal differential.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless Croatia gets the win, though, because there's a lot of draws going on a lot of these other groups, so we'll see.
Well, there's been some terrible draws, as we can see. Let's get to the next group.
Group C, with everyone's favorite, England.
Who now got 4 points. They're going on.
Yes, although today against Denmark, a little bit of a disappointment, only coming out of there with 1 point.
Yeah, but then Denmark should be embarrassed themselves because they had Slovenia on the ropes, gave up a goal with 5 minutes left?
Yeah.
Playing that box thing, think we got it. Oh, whoops, great shot by the Slovenian guy. Forget his name, young guy. Got his name, whoever scored in that game?
I can pull that up in a sec.
Whatever his name. Great goal. Unbelievable goal. You know, I just went, wow.
Janza.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Kid scored a great goal. Give him credit. So as far as I see in this group, England is going forward. I think Denmark should go forward because now...
Although that point to Slovenia could really bite them in the ass.
Well, the thing is that England's got to play Slovenia now.
Yeah.
So they're going to want the win. So if they get the win over Slovenia and Denmark just ties Serbia, they go on.
Yeah. What if Denmark chokes to Serbia, though?
Ooh, no, England's got to play Serbia, don't they? No, yeah. I don't think...
No, England plays Slovenia
I think
next.
Serbia plays an attack game too, but I just don't think they have enough. I think Denmark's
it's one game.
Agreed, that's what it's all about. But I just think that Denmark's... I really thought they were going to beat Slovenia. I was waiting for them to score a second goal.
I thought they would too.
And they had all the pressure. When you talk about that ball control thing, Denmark had a huge advantage of it.
Sure.
But they played prevent defense, and you know what that gets you?
In the loss column usually, but I guess in soccer it's a draw. Mm-hmm. Group D, these ones are Group D, E, and F have only played one match each, so a lot less to talk about. But
didn't they play already?
Only one match.
Okay, so they're all going tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Big game tomorrow is Netherlands, isn't it, against France?
Yes, looking forward to that. The France-Austria game I thought was very exciting too.
Excellent
over the
game.
Weekend.
I'm going to say that it was a great game. Austria gave it their all.
Yeah.
So what it's saying now is, can Austria beat Poland?
That's the big question.
Because I'm really thinking now that there's a good possibility that this could be a group with 3 teams coming out.
Could very well be if Austria or Poland, one of those two teams pulls out a win. If it's a draw, probably not.
They're not. But I'm saying if there's a winner there, and I'm hoping for Poland. I really am. I like their team. I like the way they played. They kind of got freaking bamboozled by the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
They look good.
That was another great game, too.
Yes, it was. But Netherlands put the hammer down. And, I like the pace of that game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Poland was going, we got to score. And at least they went for it, which adds to the excitement to the game because I've been finding, we'll talk about the nuances of the tournament right after this, but I think that Poland's got a chance. Austria just played their asses off. Got nothing, eh?
Yeah.
France
could come out of nothing with nothing this whole tournament, unfortunately.
Agreed. I think that France is definitely coming out. And
they should still win.
Yeah, and I think so. I think it's going to be the France and the Netherlands because they did look like the two better teams. And I think Austria played the game of their life and got nothing. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. But I'm definitely thinking Group D, it's going to be Netherlands and France. And I like the France players except for Mbappe. He might not play the next game. Eh?
No, he will.
They said he's playing?
He avoided surgery. He's just going to play with the mask.
Oh, okay.
Which just added to the jokes that he looks even more like a Ninja Turtle now.
Oh, 100%.
It's a cool mask, too. I don't know if you saw it. It's got like the France flag. I think I have a picture of it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's done everything but score.
Basically.
He's done everything.
He looked terrific in that first game, though.
Oh,
yeah,
he did.
There he is.
Oh, that's badass. Totally badass. Oh, no, he looked great. And that other kid that did score the goal, he's great.
Yep.
He's great. I'm going to have all the names down in stats for next week because we got a week to go, and I got to remember everybody's name, which is hard to do because half of them I can't pronounce. So that's another issue. But I will say when we get there, I'm still calling for France and Netherlands to get out of there with a slim chance of maybe Poland being the third team. But they're going to have to do something in the next two games. Yep. Win one, tie one. That's the only way they're going to get in, I believe. What do you think of Group E?
Group E, Belgium. Disappointed game one. A 1-0 loss to Slovakia. A couple goals called back on offsides, but I mean, that's the way it goes.
Okay, I'm not going to say nothing now. We'll get to that later. I thought Ukraine, I'm really sorry about their situation because it's really bizarre to think you're from a war-torn country, which I brought up in the preview last week, and they've got so much going on within the country that I thought they would rise up. Romania came out of nowhere, don't you think?
Oh, no kidding.
Two of the prettiest goals I've seen in the tournament so far are those up-the-middle break goals by Romania. Remember they got up the middle and the guy kicked it in the block, and when it came back out, the guy was just ready for it. Italy almost scored like that today, but they put it over the net.
The real test for Romania, though, is next against Belgium.
Belgium going to beat them. Because then Belgium...
Well, you would have thought that Belgium would have beat Slovakia, too, didn't you? It's one game, anything could happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Then Ukraine's got Slovakia next, So,
in any event, what's going to happen there is that Slovakia is probably going to give Ukraine a battle. So you know what? As far as I'm concerned, this whole Group E, far from done. Too much.
I would say it's looking pretty good that Slovakia can make it out now after that win against Belgium. Okay. That's huge.
Oh, mega. So you think that they can beat Romania?
We'll see, but if they pull out a win against Ukraine next, then that's all they need.
That's all they're done. And Slovakia was not a team that was supposed to be going forward.
No, they were not.
So we got to give them the time of day. But we're going to see. I thought that the Belgium game was very good. I thought it was highly entertaining. You know what I mean? I thought Belgium should have won 4-0 or 4-1. They just didn't get it. I'll get to the offside later. I'm just a little confused.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
What were you confused about?
What's that?
What are you confused about?
Where their foots are on the offside. Like, it's so negligible, and even when they show the replay, it's so, like, one of the goals, like, well, that guy's offside. One of them, he did take the step first, so I'm going to go, if you're going to split hairs, guess he was offside. But the other one,
doesn't matter if you're offside by a millimeter or what.
That's what I'm saying, it's subjective. Did you see how long it took him to decide if the goal was going to go goal? When they went to the replay booth?
Oh, it took a while, yeah.
Oh, a long time. And that's when they came back and they said, no goal. I went, ooh. Maybe Belgium's not liked. I still say that I think that they're going to be there in the end because that group is just going to, that's the dogfight, to me, the biggest dogfight.
Agreed.
Of all the ones. I see a little bit more definition in the first four groups, but this one is a mother. Mm-hmm. We're going to see to the end. And I'm watching closely.
And we'll move it on to the final group, Group F. Turkey beat Georgia 3-1. Arda Güler becomes the youngest player to score in their European Championship debut. 19 years old, 114 days. He's scoring again.
Again. He's damn good. Turkey came out and looked like all the things. Remember we said they never advance. They never do it right.
Well, okay, this was against Georgia.
Agreed.
Not exactly a world power by any stretch.
Okay.
It's a team that's just happy to be there, probably.
Yes, I agree. Well, how come I have them there? I wrote a name.
And then Portugal beat Czechia 2-1 in what I thought was a pretty impressive game. They probably could have had a couple more. Ronaldo had a couple chances.
But they had to score
Leao
late.
had a stupid yellow card for diving, but whatever.
Oh, that's another story we're going to get into. But the bottom line is, remember, Czech was ahead.
They were
70 minutes in. It scored 2 goals in the last 20 minutes like that?
Last 30 minutes.
Last 30 minutes, was it? And they scored the last one with, what, 6 minutes left?
Yeah.
It was a tough game.
Or excuse me, you were, so Czechia got the first one, 62nd minute, 69th minute. Portugal tied it up on an own goal.
Yep. But it was a crazy ass shot.
Yeah, and then they came down to what, 93rd minute where they got the winner? Incredible.
Yep. And the kid's son, he was the son of another guy that played in the World Cup, and he also played in Euro and all those years. Ronaldo gave him the good shot. I think Portugal just showed up. I think this is like the scare that they got. They'll tie their shoes tighter because I can't see them not beating Georgia. Their big game is going to be against Turkey.
That's the next one. That is in a couple of days.
Yep.
It's going to be on Saturday. It should be a fun one.
I should be looking at because Turkey came out looking like game. But then again, like you said.
It's against Georgia.
You got it. Who has had no experience there. Good for them, though. They showed up. They played hard. They're not ready for prime time. We'll get them next time.
Yep.
That's how I'm looking at it.
And I think, do you have anything else to add?
Oh, there's just a couple of things that I was thinking about when I was watching all these games. I like the fact that a team like France has about 6 guys chomping at the bit to get subbed in. And Spain has about 4 guys chomping at the bit to get in. England has about 4 guys chomping in to get in. But when you get to the Georgias and the Albanians and all those guys, you just don't have the depth.
No.
They just don't have the depth. And like I remember 2 guys coming off England are top players in the Premier League. One of the guys in Spain that came off the bench is a top in La Liga. He's up there. You look at the players that are sitting on the bench trying to get their own.
All stars in their own right.
Yes, and you look at the numbers and the announcers. That's what I'm listening more. What the announcers are saying, what do these guys do, where they're from? And I just go, man, they got an army of guys. Like in a couple of years, they'll all be starters. Because they're all under 25.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great for their programs. I'm so far, I'm happy with this. I'm not seeing a lot of dives. I think somebody must have said something because I think...
and guys are getting carded for them more, which I like.
That's what I mean. Like, if you do something stupid, the ref's going, no.
It's what pisses me off more is when guys roll around on the ground like they've been shot.
Oh, you're going to love my gospel according to Cruz.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna love it.
Okay, nice little tease. I
there
like
you
that.
Go. In any event... what I'm saying is I don't see a lot of that. I don't understand some of the tackling. Like sometimes when they tackle and then the ref gives it to this guy and I go, but didn't that guy instigate it? You know what I mean? And they don't recall those, so I can't see where the ref is sometimes, So you see the guy go down, and it was actually the guy that went down. He caused the grief. But because the incident...
Well, it depends on like who has the ball and...
Yeah, but I still don't understand when they call the infraction. Sometimes I don't even know why they pull out the yellow card. What's going on here? Why do they do that? And of course, let's rewind.
You can send me a few videos. I can be a video referee to kind of tell you what's up.
Okay, so the next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand in front of my TV, rewind it, put it up to the phone, and I'm going to videotape and say, Milani,
what's going on here?
What happened here? I will do that. I almost did it a couple times. I'm going to say, what is this? Because you know what? I'm not a soccer guy. And I bet you I've watched more of this tournament than anybody that you know. I'm home. Games are on. I'm so sick. I told you after the meeting last night, I watched 2 games that were already over. That's why I didn't know about the hockey trades, because I don't put the sports on. I don't want to know the scores. So I was up to 2 a.m. watching the games. I didn't know the scores.
Are you caught up yet?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, because Italy was the last game. So I got up today and I went through them all.
Okay, so you can follow the rest of the sports now.
I'm going to try, but like tomorrow I got to go get my dog haircut. I got to be here. I got to be there. So what's going to happen is what? I'll have to put the PVR on. You know what I mean? But so far, I think the competition between the teams that aren't supposed to do anything, that are doing something, has heightened the level of eyes brought to the table now. Mm-hmm. Because there's not been no big blowouts, a couple games, yes, but for the most part, even like Albania, they played a great game. Didn't win, but it was highly entertaining.
They've been tight games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as long as we don't see any, and like I said, all the infractions, I don't get them all. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like to play when they attack a lot. I'm a little suspect of like when a team like Italy, team like Portugal, even though they didn't do it yesterday because they had to score, when you guys do that defensive mode shit sometimes, drives me nuts. Because the ball stays between, like I guess it was a football field, it'll be staying in between the 40-yard lines.
Yeah.
It never gets out of there. You know what I mean? But I like when they get the ball down the zone and there's about 8 guys and they all got to move their feet. Then you see the skill guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like some of these guys that come out of that circle with the ball when there's 7 guys. How did you come out of there? Those guys should be on Soul Train. They must have watched Michael Jackson because these guys can dance. You know what I mean? And I love those little moves, little kicks, boom, in the net. Goalies have been playing very well, most of them.
Yes.
It's unfortunate. I've seen, 3 own goals, and there's nothing you can do about those. Like they bounce off
Even
the goal
one,
and they hit the guy.
even the Italian one today, it was a bad bounce.
Yeah, you can't do
off
it.
the keeper, and then the guy was just right there. He was trying to keep off the guy he was defending.
Yep, same thing in the Croatian game. First
Yep.
game, guy kicked it in his own net by mistake. I seen another game too. I forget who else. The guy booted to the side, hit the goalie, bounced in his own net. But that's all part of the game.
Yeah. What's been your goal of the tournament so far?
The Slovakian guy.
Yeah.
That's been my goal. That top corner goal, was that Slovakia or was it Slovenia? I've been meaning to do that. Next week, I'm going to tell you my favorite goal because I didn't put my book in front of me. Remember what I said? That's a badass goal.
For me, it was Jordan Shaqiri on Switzerland against Scotland. I believe it was yesterday.
Oh, that top corner too?
Yeah.
Oh, that might have
From
been
outside the box.
From outside the box. That was a rocket. That was a good one too. What was the guy's name?
Shaqiri.
He's a good player.
Very good player.
Did you see the rocket? Did you see the power of the shot? Like that
He's probably been the best Swiss player for like a decade now, I'd say.
He's just, that was a rocket.
He's very good.
Yeah, and then the Slovenian goal I liked too. The other best goal I liked was that one where the Romanian guy picked up the rebound and it was in the net before anybody moved.
Before anyone knew.
It was such a great shot. I'm just saying, everybody, I'm a newbie to this. And I'm really enjoying it because I remember watching in the past and falling asleep during games. Or maybe I wasn't trying enough, or maybe I didn't know enough, but we'll discuss that later. Go and watch the games. I think this weekend is going to be huge in determining what we see. I can't wait to the knockout round already.
Halfway there.
We're going to get there. Okay.
We'll keep it in soccer with the Copa America, where Canada and Argentina will play the opening matchup tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Canada, arguably in the toughest group in this tournament.
I agree.
Just a really shit draw, honestly. But
so tell everybody, who do we got to beat?
Argentina, Peru, and Chile.
Always looks like a kick in the head already. Who's the best chance we got against? Peru?
Peru, yeah, and then like Chile, that's the other team you got to beat if you want to make it on to the next stage.
And those guys are dogs.
Oh, yeah,
they're
agreed.
dogs, so they're going to be there.
And not to bury the lead, but Alphonso Davies named team captain coming into the tournament. It's a new coach, so I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I'm trying to stay optimistic. I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to how they play against Argentina tonight. If they play them well, even if they lose, I mean, that's something you can build off of and take into that game against Chile, right?
Yep, that's what I'm hoping too. I hope they get the tie.
I'm hoping too, but I'm trying to stay realistic.
I am too. Like, I think that the odds are, if you bet on Canada, you got to bet. The odds are insane.
I'm not hoping for a win.
What's that?
I'm not hoping for a win.
I'm hoping for a win. I'm not expecting a win.
Yeah, I'm not expecting. Sure.
That's the way to do it. But we will give you more on the Copa America, what's going on, because this is a lot of soccer for me to cover in one little area. And I'm pulling up my socks, tying my shoes tighter. But we'll give you a lot of that when we get back here next week.
Yep. Moving along. We'll move this to the NBA, where we would like to congratulate, obviously not our favorite team, but the Boston Celtics winning their record 18th NBA championship. Jaylen Brown, the MVP. But before we get into that, a few things to clean up from around the league. Charles Barkley announced that he will retire from broadcasting after next season, so that's very sad to see.
He's going to be, 62, 61? Yeah, I think I'm 5 years older than him or one. But in any event, he said, enough is enough. I got a grandson. I want him to play. I'm sure his bank account isn't hurting.
I'm sure not either.
And even though we will miss him, we know it's going to end up, we're going to see him at. We're going to see him at more hockey games. We're going to see him at more football games. He's just going to come out and do whatever he wants to do, because at this point in time, why not?
Yeah.
God bless him. He's been great. I don't know what they're going to do with that crew, because when TNT's over, like, nobody else has announced what they're doing. But
NBC's going to be taking over.
But that's what I'm saying. I wonder what their crew's going to look like.
I don't know. I imagine they're probably going to go after Shaq.
Oh, for sure. But then you got to get Kenny.
Sure, him and two.
You know what I mean? And it's a chemistry.
We know Ernie's not going anywhere.
No. And I respect that tremendously. You know what I mean?
He's a Turner guy.
What's he going to do now, though?
Well, Turner's got baseball, too, so I'm sure he's going to do that. I think that's where he started with them.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He can do whatever he wants, because I think his bank account's okay as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
By the way, I was hoping to see the game tonight, but I'm still in between. There's a Frank Zappa tribute going on down at...
Which game?
just want to talk about
Canada?
I forgot the Canada,
No.
but I don't know if I'm going to be home, so it'll be PEVR again.
I will be watching right after this goes up.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get on to that.
Also, Lakers hired JJ Redick as a head coach, like we predicted, signed them to a 4-year deal. Of course, the cash is undisclosed.
Well, that's because they didn't want to embarrass him. Okay, let's talk about JJ Redick, okay? Let's cut to the chase. Did you hear the Jerry West quote that came out now that Jerry died about JJ Redick?
No.
He doesn't have a lot of respect for JJ Redick because he said all they played against was plumbers and insurance salesmen back in Jerry West's day. Jerry West has come out and said to him, I was the most athletic guy in the game. I had a jump shot, and I played defense. I made defensive player in the team. God bless you, JJ. You had a decent shot. It kept you in the league. But if you were back in the league we were playing, and we don't know if you'd be tough enough to get through it. So what his thing was, he respected Redick's basketball acumen, but he said the game did go on before the year 2000. And I thought that was very pertinent to say because one of the things that drives me nuts about JJ Redick is he thinks that basketball didn't start before 2000. Did you ever hear him talk about 90s basketball or 80s basketball? Oh,
no.
That's Fred
I don't watch
Flintstone
First Take,
shit.
so.
No, he was on another show too.
Okay, I don't watch much ESPN. That's the point.
Okay, you can stay away, but I haven't been watching it much lately either because I'm just getting sick of all the stupid racist bullshit that gets off.
Oh.
It just drives me nuts.
PTI is all I watch.
Oh, that's.
Or I listen to, I should say.
Yeah, you should listen to that too. Got to give McAfee some credit though. He's still
Sure.
in his goofiness. He brings it. He's so real. That's what I like about him. But in any event, I'd like to know what the money there. And the big question is, do you think he's going to get his 4 years in?
Ooh, I mean, the Lakers haven't had a coach last longer than
15 minutes?
Or longer than 3, I should say, ever since they let go of Phil Jackson, right?
Exactly. I think they've had 6 coaches since then, which is insane. 5 or 6, which just led me to believe, JJ Redick, God bless you. You got a job. You had some credentials. I hope that you respect the game and its elders because one of the other things Jerry West said, if we didn't build this league, you wouldn't have one to get in. Mm-hmm. And I respected that too, so all the best to him. But to speak of how coaches are treated,
ooh.
Let's talk about our boy on my former team who I still love very much, the Detroit Pistons. Can you tell us what happened, bro?
The Pistons fired Monty Williams 1 year into his 6-year, $75 million contract, and according to sources, he is still owed $65 million.
What kind of organization can piss $65 million into the Detroit River?
A rich and stupid one.
I'm saying, but I know there was a management change, and that always goes.
But why'd you hire this guy to this massive contract in the first place? But it didn't even seem like the temperature was that high in going after him.
There was a few teams. There was.
But the $75 million?
That guaranteed it. They just overbid for the guy.
That was stupid.
But that was a previous general manager. So they brought in Trajan Langdon, who's had some success building the Pelicans. And Trajan took a look around the room.
Some success.
He got him into a playoff position. He made some good draft choices. The bottom line is he took a look around the room and said, not my guy. You know what I mean? Not my guy. So where is he now? Listen, you can golf, do a lot of golfing. You can spend a lot of time in the Caribbean. You can have an Italian vacation for $65 million.
It's not going to come all at once, though. He's going to have to...
Well, he's going to get over time, 5 years, you know what I mean? And what's going to happen? Does he take another job?
I don't know.
I don't know how this is going to work, but if I was him, I'm taking the $65 million. If I got to sit in the park with my granddaughter all day long for $65 million, I'm sitting for $65 million. They gave him the money.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to work, though.
I guess he would, too, but it's just so bizarre. That's why I asked the question about JJ Redick. 1 year in. Worst season in the history of Detroit, though.
Yep. 28 losses in a row at one point.
Yeah, it's rough. And I love the Pistons. It was a drag to see, but that totally blew my mind when I heard, hey, this guy is what? Gone? 1 year? After there was a lot of suitors for him at the time. It was 4 or 5 teams, and Detroit just came in and put down the bag, and he said, well, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? And the way it is. That's weird about coaching. It's not as bad as coaching is in the NHL, but that's
getting there.
Starting to. Looking that way. You know what I mean?
Starting to.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches with the short leashes, but not to get too off the track, we'll move it back to the NBA Finals where, like we mentioned, Boston wins it. Just a tremendous playoff run, went 9-2 at home and 7-1 on the road all throughout the playoffs.
Wow. And they almost had a record, which I think they should have went for, but they knew they were going to win the party. They almost became the first team in history to sweep the conference finals and the finals.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't get that record. I hate the Celtics, by the way. I want to congratulate Jaylen Brown for winning the MVP, even though I thought if I had a vote, I would have given it to True Holiday. But the bottom line is there's a little side stat that I did not know. He caused Luka to have 22 turnovers.
Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown was on him for 22 turnovers.
That's a good reason to give him the MVP.
Well, that's what I said afterwards, too, because what was the problem with Luka besides the fact he's a bitch, buddy, get in shape?
We'll see.
Pretty simple, don't you think?
Yep.
He's dead tired when they run him. He's a unique, unbelievable, fantastic offensive force who can play, once again, a modicum of defense. Bitches too much to the referees. And at times, I think they lost a series because Kyrie didn't have a great first 2 games.
Yeah.
But he had a terrific third game, and he was getting ready to get on a roll. And Luka would do his slow the game down, forget Kyrie was on the court, because I think it was a huge year for Kyrie, and not only that did he change his image, but he deferred to Luka a lot of times, or look for Luka with the ball. I think if Luka took a little more time to look for Kyrie, I thought Boston would win anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been a little bit more competitive. You know what I mean? We know we only had one winner in the last 6. Like every last 6
Six different winners in the last 6, yeah.
I think this is the first team that has a realistic possibility. I would have said that about Denver last year.
We were saying that about Denver.
Okay, I thought they would too. But I'm going to say there's a little bit difference in Boston in the fact that they got everybody under contract except for Wright, who is ready to sign, the other guard. Porzingis will be 100% healthy all year. And everybody's under contract, and almost everybody is under 30, except for True Holiday and one other guy. So everybody's under 30. What's Porzingis? He just turned 30.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so everybody else on that team is under 20. Now, there was a big uproar in Boston when they lost a guy, which kind of caught me off guard too, who was called the heart and soul of the team, Marcus Smart. Feel sorry for him, but he didn't get a ring. You got replaced by True Holiday, whoever won a championship. So why you be crying in Boston? Hey, Marcus, great. He's a DeRozan. You know what I mean? You love the guy, you want to keep him. But when you see what Drew Holiday, who was the first player ever, first year on a team, won a championship. Twice, yeah. Milwaukee and now Boston. So that tells you what kind of player he is. So I think that Boston should be sending Milwaukee a thank you note. And
I really think they should too.
And Milwaukee, look at the shape they're in.
And the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, and the Brooklyn Nets too. But you know what I'm saying?
Billy King, when's he getting his statue out in front of TD Garden?
Soon.
Put it right beside Bobby Orr.
Right there you go. But the fact is, let's be honest. The first game was okay, and game 4, Boston didn't show up. But it was a shit series.
Yeah, it really was.
You know what I mean? And if you think about all the NBA playoffs, some of it was good, some of it was okay. They're saying the same thing about the NHL, but I think there was a higher level of confidence.
I know. I think the Stanley Cup playoffs has been a lot more exciting this year.
Thank you very much. The first couple rounds, okay. You could have said it might be about even, but once they got last 2 rounds especially, NHL has outclassed them by far.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, especially the entertainment factor and the drama of the games. Outclassed the NBA by far.
Yeah, the NBA, I would say, kind of peaked in the second round.
Maybe. I'm saying
to me,
that,
at least.
You know what I mean? You got to give Luka this credit, though. He beat the Clippers. So he took out, what's his name? He beat Shea.
Yep.
And who else did he beat?
Timberwolves.
And he beat Anthony Edwards. Okay, now that was a total team effort, and I give him credit for that. But look at the last game, 106-88. And that's flattering for Dallas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here's the thing about these teams that make it to the finals and lose. Very rare. Look at Boston. It took them 2 or 3 years to get back.
Different story, though. They were a younger team.
Well, Dallas is pretty young.
Yeah.
They're pretty young, and
but they didn't get their asses kicked as much by Golden State that time.
Agreed, but Golden State was like the.
But that's my no. But what do you mean?
They were the jewel of the league when they're.
Yeah, and they didn't even lose as bad as Boston beat Dallas. Is my point.
Oh, got you.
That's my point. It's not that losing and coming back. It's getting your ass kicked in the finals. Mm-hmm. You tend not to come back.
Well, 4-1. Isn't that pretty well an ass kicking?
There you go.
I'm not expecting, because I think they've got some structure things, what they got to do with some young guys. And the fact is this, Luka has to get in shape and change his attitude.
Yeah.
That'll thing, because I think he will be there again.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the West is tough.
I
There's
agree.
like 7 teams you can make an argument could be the Western Conference champions next year. And I'm not completely buying that Boston's just going to roll onto being like another dynasty again.
I'm not going to say they're going to roll.
Because even in the East, like a fully healthy Knicks team could be very dangerous.
Yep. A fully healthy Philadelphia team.
Exactly. Indiana's, I think, is a team that's on the rise.
I think they're going to have a fallback before they move forward. You heard
Really?
it here first. Yep.
Okay.
That's just the way the team's constructed to me. Not tough enough, too much offense, no defense. That'll catch up with them. But I'm just looking, like I say, if you look at the 12-man roster of the Celtics, nobody's.
How about Orlando? They're on the rise too.
Well, but I still think they're a year or two away.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just going to say this. Now that we're pretty well finished with this basketball thing, we're going to see you next year. I'm just going to say this. 2 things. If Bronny James doesn't play in the NBA next year, who cares? But I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people in this city are dragging the Raptors' dick in the dirt hard. Okay, so they fell down. They've done some things. I'm going to make the craziest prediction you have ever heard. I'm going to say 2 years from now, 3 years from top, when Grady Dick makes that shot from the corner to make us advance to the conference finals, you've heard it here first.
Okay.
I'm not saying that there's going to be a bunch of years where frickin' the Raptors are going to be the dregs of the year. They had to reshift their team. It was old. They had to get some guys around. They made some good trades. Look at the nucleus of this team. They got money to pick up a free agent. I think the Raptors will be back a lot quicker than people in this city are giving them credit for. Because you never give Raptors credit when you got a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs in the city now, do you?
Well, the Raptors were the pride and joy here when they were like the DeRozan, Lowry.
10 minutes?
No, longer than that.
They won the championship, of course.
Well, even the lead up to that, they were the darlings in this city.
Yeah, for a while, and they played great, and that's what I'm saying. Then you got to readjust. They didn't. I think Masai made.
It fell apart too quickly. That's the problem.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And the uncertainty of Kawhi leaving town, that kind of screwed up the structure of the team. But I'm saying
that is all next season. They're still first place in the East the next season though.
Second, I think. They competed.
Either way.
But I think they got knocked out in the first round. Maybe.
No, the second round to Boston.
Yeah, that's right.
They swept. They actually had their first sweep that year against the Nets.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, history is that far ago. In any event, I'm just saying before we end basketball, for all the Raptor fans out there, do not panic. We're not that far away. We lost a lot of close games. We had a lot of trades. We had some injuries. We didn't have structural things. Let's give our Draco coach this lineup and a free agent to start. Darko, in the camp and go forward. And I'm going to say we're going to see the Raptors going to surprise people.
Okay.
They're not going to be the bottom of the league. But anyways, as we have to do here, as we talk about the highest level of competition, I begrudgingly have to say congratulations to the Boston Celtics. And the only thing I'm going to say about this is I'm glad that Jason Tatum got the monkey off his back. The guy took more shit than anybody ever imagined, and he played well. What people forget about him, he might not have been the top scorer on the team. His defense was outstanding. With those 2 kids there, he
ended up being the top scorer by the end.
But his defense, too, was outstanding, especially because to go in the middle of the paint with all the bangers that Dallas said they were showing up with. Nah, he was in there like a dirty shirt, and I really liked the way that him and Jaylen Brown embraced and said, hey, we made it, bro, because everyone has tried to put something between those 2 guys.
Oh, yes.
And guess what? They didn't do a goddamn thing. You never heard, all the shit you heard about Boston was outside noise.
From the media.
What was going on inside that dressing room? They were tighter than, tighter than tight. And look what they end up happening. I have a team that's been playing together, those guys together for a few years. Got to give them credit. I hate Celtics more than I hate most teams, but I got to respect when teams, especially guys like that, take that much shit, pull it all together, get a ring. Congratulations.
Close to the anniversary of Len Bias's death, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a sad, sad story.
Could have been Jordan's rival in the NBA.
100%.
Could have extended the Celtics dynasty. A lot of what ifs there.
Oh, my God. And you heard how they found him, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. Signed a contract. Never played a game.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And you should see him in college. Beast.
I've heard.
Beast. I seen him play in the tournament. He dragged the team to what? The Elite Eight or something? They shouldn't even in the tournament. This one-man guy drove him. I think he did have a guard that played in the NBA for 10 minutes, if I go back, look in the roster. But nobody else in that team was of any significance. He was a beast. 6'8", 6'9",
Yep.
220 at 19. Whoo! With a shot.
Yep.
With that little shot and tough underneath. God bless Len Bias and his family. Very unfortunate thing to happen. People shouldn't die that young.
Congratulations to the Boston Celtics. We'll see you, I guess, at the draft.
Yes, we will.
Moving this along to the NHL, where I guess we'll start off. This is the house of the Leafs, after all. Guy
What's
Boucher,
going on in Leaf Nation?
Guy Boucher is out as
What's going on in
assistant
Leaf Nation?
coach.
Oh, okay.
He was the power play specialist 10 years ago. Didn't work out this year.
We're going to talk about that for a second. Berube's always bringing his own guys.
Yes.
We
Lane
can
Lambert was brought in as an assistant coach. He was the coach of the Islanders. We need another one, though, so it's going to be interesting to see who else they hire.
That's a Shanahan and Trey Living choice. Remember we talked about
Lane Lambert?
Yeah. No, that was...
Okay.
that's
I see what you mean.
But as you were saying, maybe the team makes the other choice?
Usually that's how it goes.
Okay, well, I took my car off Mitch Marner Street.
Oh, I thought you guys were just getting along.
No, we were great, but he came out and he said to me, hey, buddy, you got good weed. I like your enthusiasm. I'm not leaving Toronto. Fuck them.
Was that him or his agent that said that?
I think he said it because there's a very, very slow thing going on in the city. And what's his name? Darren Dreger, one of the insiders. He says that Trey Living might even re-sign Marner.
That sounds like a lot of noise coming from the agent, though.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
What do you think's really going to happen? Marner's playing in Toronto this season.
I'm starting to think not.
What? I heard he's got his feet in the ground. You got to respect my contract. You signed it. You can't do nothing about that. So what he's going to
do you think he wants to stay here with the media dragging his dick through the dirt for another year?
I think he handles it really well because most of the time
I don't think he does.
No, I was going to say this because most of the time he doesn't go to the microphone anyway. So what's he worried about? How many times?
Well, he does go to the microphone a lot because he does have that A on his jersey. It's kind of your obligation.
Okay, he goes there, but Tavares takes a load for them.
I agree.
And so does, what's his name on defense?
Riley.
Riley. They go to the front page for the team. I guess they got the talk of the day. And I know Marner's not great with the press. He grew up in the city. He knows what's going on. He doesn't want to do that. He's on the thing. As a matter of fact, what we were talking about before the show started, or a little earlier, is Marner going to be one of the 6 guys named on the Four Nations team. He's playing for the team, don't you think?
He'll be on the team. I don't think he's going to be one of the first 6 named.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my 6 off the top of my head.
Okay.
Connor McDavid.
Obviously.
Nathan McKinnon.
Yep.
Kyle McCarr.
Cale Makar. No, he's not eligible.
Why?
Because he was on that juniors team that got in trouble, remember?
Oh. Really?
Yeah, so I'm assuming the 6 are going to be...
Braden Point.
Whoa.
Why not?
First 6?
Maybe.
Because I was thinking it's going to be 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. Right?
I heard they're not going to call the goalie yet.
Oh, really?
That's what I've been hearing. They're not going to announce a goalie on that.
Oh, that makes sense in Canada's case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard Canada's not going to be saying a goaltender. I heard it's going to be 4-2 because they say they want.
So Braden. So okay. So you got McDavid, McKinnon, Point,
Sidney Crosby.
Yep.
Who am I missing now? I'm missing somebody huge. Oh my God.
Brad Marchand.
If he gets named for the first 6, I'm going to call up Ted Nugent with that gun he uses to get rid of vermin. He'll be getting it on reputation. Fuck him. I don't even believe that. I heard Suzuki's name's come up for the whole team, but not the first 6.
He's a bit of a long shot in my opinion.
That's what I said. But they said he's never played with big caliber players. He's got hockey smarts. I don't believe it for a second. I'm a Hab guy. But who did we say now? I said McKinnon.
You said
McDavid,
McKinnon, Crosby, and Point.
And Point.
2 more.
Bouchard of Edmonton.
I don't even think he's the lock to make the team.
Okay, so who are our defensemen?
I named my 7 before. I'm sticking to them. Taves, Doughty, Pietrangelo, Theodore, Riley, Dobson, and Morrissey.
I think Pietrangelo will definitely be called in the team. Yeah, he'll be one of the 6 for sure, just because of his veteran presence, and nobody else has played in these tournaments because it's been 8 years since we had a chance to do it. So he's going to be there. But I
10.
think 10 is it?
Oh no, World Cup 2016. So yeah,
I think Taves will be on the team too.
Yeah.
Because he's a very good defenseman. We're going to have to wait to see next week, but I'm already saying there's guys around the league. Marner doesn't make this team. That's nuts. Come on. I mean,
I agree. He'll be there.
He has to be on there. There's a few other guys. The big name that's come up lately, though, because of his showing in the play is Wyatt Johnson.
He's a bit of a long shot, too. I think Quentin Byfield is one that could really realistically make his way up.
Those are the two names that I've heard. Like, all depends on how they play during the season because the tournament's not till February, right?
Yep. In place of All-Star.
In place of All-Star. So there's going to be a lot to be said about who makes the team.
Yes, and the Byfield one actually ties into one of the big trades that happened yesterday. Yes. So Pierre-Luc Dubois, one of your guys, traded to Washington 1-for-1 for Darcy Kemper. So for LA, I think this is actually a great move for them because it gets them a goalie and opens up a lot of cap space that they're going to have to give to Byfield, who they're expecting to step up into that role that I think they hope that Dubois would step into this year.
Did Rob Blake see something in the Washington cabinets that said, I'm going to rat you guys out or something? Like, how did Washington get in on this deal?
Someone brought up a good point that Washington has kind of made their name on like some reclamation, not quite reclamation projects, but some guys who, you know, their stock was a little low, and then they get their like, Dylan Strome, TJ Oshie's stock was a little bit low when St. Louis gave him to Washington.
Wilson was one, wasn't he, too?
They drafted him, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are guys like that, so why can't Washington turn Dubois into like maybe a running mate for Ovechkin?
This has been the most surprising trade. If you hear anyone talking hockey anywhere,
this is like Taylor Hall for what was the defenseman? Adam Larson level.
Yeah, but whatever's crazy. But here's a big joke that I heard. Here's what I heard, and I laughed.
I heard a good joke too. I wonder if it's the same one.
About why Washington brought
cat friendly,
so they didn't have to show everything in Dubois' contract. I fell off my chair laughing. I went, interesting. They must have knew they were making a trade. But I just give Rob Blake credit because I know Washington's a little bit deeper in goaltenders. I know that. The guys haven't played yet, but I heard they got a couple prospects, okay?
They had a guy that stepped up this year who's decently well.
Okay, but to take that contract off on a malcontent who's done nothing but piss people off, I want to play in Montreal. Great. I wish you could play in Montreal too, but not with that attitude.
No, absolutely not.
Not with that playing that way. Like, what does he need? I don't know. I'm totally blown away by the prospect of this guy being in Washington, and there's no salary, nothing
retained, just a straight 1-for-1
and a blow. Like, what was Washington thinking?
I'm thinking they're a team, with some good veterans. Maybe they think they can fix them into shape,
and they got cap space for that.
Yes.
They're kind of lucky, so they got the cap space to fit them in. If you don't score 30 goals next year, disaster. 30 goals, right? At his money.
Well, if he plays with Ovechkin, maybe you can play with that number a little bit. But his points has to be what? 70?
70?
Yeah.
A gimme. So if he doesn't score 30, he better score 50 points. 50 assists. If he has to have 30 goals or 70 assists, or this is
70 points, yeah.
70, you made a mistake. How else can you look at it?
It's also, they have 7 years of this, so we'll have a long time to decide. We'll have a long time to decide.
And he's still young,
though.
He's only 24, though, right?
No, he's older
26?
than that. He's the same age as Matthews.
So 26.
Yeah.
Lots of time for him to get better. Big boy, big skills.
Lots of time, but also not a lot of time because you're kind of set in your ways at that point.
Drouin 2.0?
Ooh.
Just saying.
I don't know. Dubois is a bigger boy, can play some defense.
When he wants.
Yeah, fair point.
Great skater. That's what blows my mind.
Why do you think he got drafted so high?
Skater, you know what I mean? I don't know what's in his head. Sometimes they say because you were so spoiled by the time you hit midget hockey, and then you get drafted high, you think you're
country club attitude,
entitled, or whatever the case may be. It's sad. A guy with that good, that talent. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. The other big trade, of course, was Jacob Markstrom going to New Jersey. Calgary is going to be retaining $1.8 million, and Calgary will receive back Kevin Ball, who's a pretty big young defenseman, and a 2025 first-round pick, which is top 10 protected.
Sheldon Keefe, Coach of the Year. Sheldon,
Coach of the Year does seem to be tied to team's goaltending, so maybe.
Okay, so look we at the beginning of last season, we all held New Jersey in high, we put
high
them
regard, yeah.
Yes, okay. A lot of people around the league who are supposedly analysts, and I'm not, have also said New Jersey should have been there. Combination of
poor goaltending, injuries,
and they fixed their defense by the end of the year. And three of those
yes and no.
3 of those guys are under 25, and they're all going to play better next year for the experience, including the Hughes kid. He's going to be amazing. So you're going to go from a team that was supposed to do something and everyone off the track. Bring all those people back with some goaltending, and what do you got? With a new coach called Sheldon Keefe, who wins Coach of the Year. Jersey makes conference finals. Hey, Sheldon, how you doing?
We'll see, because Markstrom has been a goalie who has stubbed his toe in the past.
I'm just saying.
And how old is he now, 34?
Him and Jake Allen are both the same, but they got the veteran presence. So they got the tandem. And you know, Jake Allen can play good goal. He showed he could do it. So
plays well at times.
At times, but that's all. You got a tandem. So every time Jake comes in,
well, both of them aren't going. They're both guys that have shown that in the past. I don't know. New Jersey should make the playoffs next season. I'm with
easy
you there.
Now. Oh, come on.
But I'm not buying this that's going to turn New Jersey all of a sudden into like some world beaters again. Because something else happened in New Jersey. Something really weird happened. I don't know. I'm starting to question the leadership there.
Okay, so they got
after
a new
the way
coach.
Things fell apart last year.
Sheldon Keefe has proven he'd be a great coach in the regular season.
Sure.
So maybe he's the one that's going to give them the structure to go forward. And now
maybe.
They got goaltending. They still got the scoring. They still got Jack Hughes up front. They still got those wingers.
Yep.
And they were predicted to be a top 6 team going into the season, and everything fell apart on them. So basically,
Timo Meyer's been a pretty big disappointment, though.
He certainly has.
Hey, look who's walked in, the proprietor himself, Serge Singh.
And not only that, I bet you he heard our shout out, didn't he? Serge, give us a shout out. Say hello. Hi, how you doing? Okay. So, anyways, Serge, what did you think? Because we got to ask you about this. Oh, okay. Okay. We need a Punjabi interpreter here right now, buddy. Anyway, what do you think of the Kemper Pierre-Luc trade? LA trading a goalie for Buddy.
Point the mic at him, Cruz. What are you doing?
He's a head case. He's a head case. Dubois doesn't fit into the rooms. This and that. It's a agent. Bang. They're doing a favor for a favor. That's it. That's what's
How did Rob Blake pull this off? Nobody wanted him.
Washington
Straight
wanted
up.
him.
Okay, yeah, but this is straight up. And look at the money they're paying him.
Yeah, Rob Blake should be. You think he got a deal? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of him, but also he's getting like what was the goalie? 33. Markstrom, how was he? 35.
Kemper?
33, 35.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
So like it's a win for Washington in a way.
I don't know about that because I think that see, LA's had some goalies.
You know what Washington cares about? Washington just cares about Ovechkin's breaking Gretzky's record.
And now he's got a big guy to help him get there. That's
They
possible.
can help him make the playoffs too, though.
Yeah,
if he gets his
they could.
head on straight.
Yeah. But listen, when like society today, they're all weak people. They're all weak human beings. They're sensitive. Like, dudes, you're getting paid to play hockey.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to play hockey. You think I care about what you fucking feel or fucking anything? No. You have to. You're getting paid millions and millions. Go out and hard. It's not like I want my girlfriend this, girlfriend. You know, back in the day, the players that used to play, the wives don't get involved. Now, like, he's making way, fucking move on, play the game.
Was that a problem with Dubois though?
100%. Look, big, this, that, soft. You know, he got to where he wanted, and then I can't explain to you right now in an at moment because I don't want to talk the fuck. There's a lot of shit about these tuturu guys, man.
I hear you.
They're all tuturus, man.
Okay, so that's what it's interesting that you said because I seen Nathan McKinnon do a interview yesterday.
He wants to win. He's pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
you
pissed.
should have heard.
He's pissed that he's like I'm still not over that loss over Dallas. Like he's like that's a player. That's the guy I want on my team. No, you don't like it here. I want to go somewhere else. I want to play in Montreal. Get the fuck out of here. I never want him on Montreal.
He wanted him on Montreal.
Before. Not anymore.
I don't.
I've been joking around on it. It's funny because you hear Nathan McKinnon's interview?
I've heard he's been doing the rounds with the media lately.
Because of the that soft drink energy for kids thing he's doing, which is really cool. It's really actually like he said when he was young, if some player told him to do this, he'd just do it because it was his favorite player, regardless if the product was shit. But he said this is a good thing for the kids to be on, and he's happy that they're doing it.
Well, let's hope.
But one of the things that he said that Serge alluded to is he said nobody's entitled in the dressing room. And he goes, that's what we had to eliminate when we were losing. And he goes, once we got there and we won, is because everybody was accountable. He said the biggest problem with the team are distractions, social media, your personal life, relationships. Just as Serge said, when you start bringing that in the dressing room,
Oh, you have problems. I agree.
Back in the day, the old coaches were brutal. What did they say? I forgot my Mike Tomlin shout out. You know what he said?
Oh, yeah.
It's all things all the time. You know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to anybody. What are you playing for? Sir just said millions of dollars. What's number one? What is your number one goal?
Win the Stanley Cup.
There you go. And if you put anything else in the way of even getting there, guess what? You're screwing it up. What? Okay. In any event, it was a great Nathan McKinnon interview. I'm the Markstrom trade I'm going to get because Serge, I've been saying Sheldon Keefe be coach of the year next year, but the other one with LA, I'll depends on the results next year. I'll be completely confused of what's going on. Any other notes around the league except
so there was another minor trade. Actually, San Jose making a couple moves. So they got Ty Dellandrea for a 4th-round pick from Dallas. And they claim Barclay Goodrow off waivers from the Rangers. I hear he's not impressed with that because he was apparently on his no-trade list, but that doesn't protect you from waivers.
No, not when you haven't had the contract
And
yet.
apparently he was kind of blindsided by that. He didn't know he was going on waivers until the minute before it happened.
That's kind of bad management, eh?
Yeah, because you think because the Ryan McDonough thing kind of worked out where they're like, hey, we could put you on waivers, but we want to work with you, get you to where you want to go. I don't know. I guess the Rangers management doesn't work like that. But my impression of this is that San Jose is just trying to load up to try and impress Macklin Celebrini because there's rumors of him going back to college, right?
That's what they're saying, but I think the money's going to.
That's what Greer wanted, but there's going to be a little problem with that.
Yeah, so Serge saying that.
The Goodrow thing is they got Smith coming up. They have Smith coming up. They got Celebrini. You know his dad is, eh? Strength and conditioning coach for the fucking
Detroit Lions?
No.
Pistons?
No, the basketball team.
Raptors?
No, where Curry plays.
Golden State?
Golden State.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
His father is a strength and conditioning coach. This guy's been around. This guy's more mature than you're going to believe.
Oh, I agree.
And also, they got Smith there. They've got Goodrow there, but here's the thing. Dury did something that San Jose was on one of the 15 teams.
Yeah, the no-trade list.
No-trade list. And he put him on waivers, and they picked him up. He's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
They saved him fucking money.
Yeah.
Saved them money.
And it's all about the cap, and freaking Gary Bettman still hasn't announced what the cap's going to be, but guys are making moves. It looks like it's going to be that 4.5.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
It's got to be, because look at some of the moves people have made. Mm-hmm. That's with the anticipation of knowing that they're going to be having a little bit more space than they originally anticipated, which is going to be cool. That's going to help what you mean.
In about 6 to 8 weeks.
Shoey's to open up in 6 to 8 weeks.
All the permits came in. Everything's all done. It starts next 10 days.
Serge, can you do this?
Guys that want to open up at Christmas or at February 25 next year. Got a crew coming in. 6 to 8 weeks.
Serge, I hope you go back and hear the beginning of the show, because you should hear my shout out to start the show. Thank you. You heard my shout out.
After this, how much long you got? Half an hour, 20 minutes?
No, about 10. And
15 probably.
15 at the most. We're trying to keep the
Salty Dog, my friend Enzo up there at the Salty Dog. We're going to have a fucking cold beer.
Salty Dog? Where's Salty Dog?
That's on Highway 27. It's in my neck of the woods.
Okay, you guys can go there. I'm not going that far.
No, I got to get this online.
Anyways,
and watch the Canada game.
Serge, I hope you listen to the beginning of the show. Isn't that great to hear the great shout out we did? Rising, Serge, our line is this. The ashes, Phoenix is rising from the ashes. Here we go. Isn't that great news?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to tell everybody now. I'm going to keep my mouth running like 10 minutes. Oh, okay.
We just put it on the podcast.
We just got it on the air. Okay, forget everything we said for the last 6 minutes. Serge was a figment of your imagination. There was nobody here.
You got that little switch.
Okay, you got it. In any event, let's talk about the most important thing that we've got to deal with.
Well, hold on. A few more notes around the league.
Sorry.
Eric Tulsky named GM of the Carolina Hurricanes.
I think that's a good hire.
His resume may be the most impressive in hockey. He's not only overqualified for this job, but probably every job on the planet.
When I heard his credentials, I forget on what show, I said, what? Why's this guy been sitting around? Oh, no, but he's been busy. But when I heard...
He's been with Carolina for 10 years.
Yeah, but when you heard his credentials and his resume...
Incredible.
Oh, my...
27 patents in the U.S.
He's a brainiac to start with.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know what he is, too? What I understand is He's a look in the player's eye guy. You know what I mean? Like, sit down with me now. I don't want you to think that I'm saying something about you. I want you to hear it from me. This is how we're going to go. So if anything goes where he's got to get rid of the guy, there's no surprises.
Right.
I think that's a great attribute to have. You know, considering who we just talked about, the guy found out he went on waivers 1 minute before waivers.
And his specialty is aging curves, especially. That's how he got hired by the Hurricanes in the first place. He ran a sports blog, I guess, covering the Flyers because he's from Philly. But, aging curves, seeing how, like, different players, like defensemen, forwards, how they age, that's his specialty, which I think...
On his curve, on that curve thing, yeah. I'd heard about that. I never really heard about that till I heard about him getting hired about the curve thing. But, like, he put it in, like, he's built a template or a matrix, threw it in the thing, stirred it up. Oh, look what came out. And apparently, he's been correct. That's why he stole Dougie Hamilton, wasn't it?
Probably.
Traded or whatever the case may be. He's a pretty smart guy. Congratulations on the hire.
Absolutely. And we teased that LA and Anaheim are getting new looks. So the new Kings logo got revealed today. So kind of an upgrade of the Wayne Gretzky era once they kind of fixed up the font, made it a little bit more modern.
I like that.
I like the look too. Mm-hmm. And the new Anaheim Ducks jerseys got leaked out. It's basically the Mighty Ducks logo, but with the orange and like the new colors, which I'm not a fan of that, but I love that they're bringing the Mighty Ducks back. Yeah.
Good for them. Let's make them relevant again. That was a decent hockey market that you're wasting out there.
Yeah, before they moved to San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
And one last thing, a quick little note that the NHL is thinking of shortening the draft from 7 rounds to 4.
I don't agree with that. I thought about it more since we talked about it last night. That's for the agents. That's an agent thing. I don't give a shit what you said because then you just start having a free-for-all. Make your own deals behind the door.
Well, the NBA draft is 2 rounds. That's fine.
Way too many players, I think, to go around with a smaller team. I think it's probably a little bit more feasible in basketball. I'm gonna.
I know in hockey, I think 7 is too much, personally.
I'd knock it down to 6 then, maybe 5. 4 is not enough. I think 4 is.
But we went over this last night though. In the NHL, the top group of players that make it are first-round picks. Then it's second-round picks. After that, it's undrafted players.
That just makes the pool more insane than ever. I think that's going to be worse for the has-beens and great for the organizations like the Leafs and Montreal, because those kids
but there's going to be competition all over there's going to be way more of these guys all of a sudden that like need contracts, so like it's going to be competition. I don't think it just means that it's going to be the Leafs or the Habs or New York or whatever.
Ranger. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm just saying that I
think these guys are hungry. They want to go where there's jobs, where they think they can play.
That's a good point. I'm just saying
because that's how it goes with college free agents anyways. They don't automatically just go to the Leafs. It's where can I get a job? Where can I play now?
I don't know. I'm going to have to let the dust settle because
this is a pro player move.
Okay, I agree. I think, it is a pro player move promoted by agents. That's what I believe. But I still, I don't know.
Well, who represents the players?
Scumbags. Oh, I mean agents. I just don't know. I just think that it opens a Pandora's box to things that I'm going, let's keep it at 5. I think
that's only one more than 4.
Well, still, that's an extra round of players.
I know, because even like once you get to the 5th round of the draft, it's a little like just pulling what's this? It's a reach anyways.
Okay, let's call it.
Because I don't like a player being handicapped to a team for 2 years who may not even want him by that point.
And then they kick him to the curb.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's unfair to the players.
Interesting point. I'm going to wait for the dust settled. I'm not.
If this even happens.
If it, I wonder. I think it will happen. Because once again, the board of directors, all the things that you mentioned, that's going to work out. And the teams that got juice are going to say, yeah, we're good with that. So I'm going to let the dust settle. It could be good. I like the fact that you're presenting it as a pro player thing. It's a part of the pro player thing that makes me nervous is the people behind the pro players. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We'll
see.
Okay. We'll see.
We'll finally move this on to what we all want to talk
about. The most important thing that's going on in the history of hockey. I hate Florida. They're a bunch of mugs. They do shitty things, and maybe Bobrovsky's had too much vodka. And Friday night's game wins the series.
Whoa. I don't agree with that.
I heard you. I'm going to say it one more time. If Connor McDavid has a Game 7 to win a Stanley Cup, this guy is going to be, and breaking Gretzky's record at the chance of doing it, he's going to rise up to a level that we have never seen before in a one-man wrecking crew. Did you see him play the other night?
Fantastic.
Have you seen a guy?
I've been watching every game.
Oh, me too. You know what I did this afternoon or last night because there wasn't enough sports on? I left it on the PVR and I watched the game again. Some of the moves, he made a Mario Lemieux move.
Yeah.
In there.
The assist to Perry.
Oh, no, that goal, that one. Come on, Serge, that one move McDavid made, that's a Mario Lemieux move.
That was a Lemieux move.
Come on, Serge.
He did that 3-4 times a game. What? Lemieux did that.
I'm not saying that. Okay. If you had to pick, I'm going to ask Serge this question because I want to know because it's going to come up. At the height of their career, who would you rather have, McDavid or Lemieux?
Lemieux.
I don't know. I'm going to be a fence sitter. Because guess what? Lemieux
I
was
thought
lazy.
you'd go McDavid hands down.
I think
So I'm going to tell you something. It's different eras, different sports, different training.
I got it.
And you never compare different eras, different this.
I'm going to talk skill level. Pure skill level. Mario Lemieux is considered the greatest skill level guy.
Say Lemieux ate what he did, trained when he did before he camped, instead of having 21 Big Macs. Say they did that. Say Gretzky did that. Say Lafleur did that. No beers this, no second job. Different thing. Now the kids are coddled.
Oh, that's the problem.
They're coddled. Hey.
I'm agreed.
You have way less time and space on the ice now, though.
Oh, yeah, way less time and space.
Soccer on ice.
Okay.
I don't collect the new era hockey cards. I collect the 70s, 80s thing, what I saw with my own two eyes. And I see this when I come to Canada in 1973, May 7th. How do you compare that hockey to this? Those guys are legends in my book.
Oh, I agree, but I think that the quality of the game has increased.
Everybody had a concussion back in the day. You think anybody cries about it? No, it's called a headache.
I don't think that's something to celebrate.
Yeah,
I think
that's
a little, I think
dangerous.
that's a little fucked up.
That's dangerous.
Technology. There you go. Technology.
The pace of the game's gotten better, Serge.
Of course.
Of course, because of the tech and the speed. I will agree with that.
Because of training, equipment, composite.
I got
Everything.
you. I'll give you that.
I got composite hockey.
Okay, so I'll give you 1 point.
Today, Dom, his son's got a scholarship going to California. He's going to win the Masters, Canadians one day. You'll hear about this guy, Dominic DeLuca. And, today I was there watching a little bit of the Italian game with the guy, and he goes to me, I go, hey, does it make a difference on a golf ball? He goes, yeah, it does. Yeah. Not for a guy like me that just...
a guy like that?
But a guy
Sure.
like me, it makes a big difference, man.
Agreed.
I agree.
That's
So
all the equipment you use now, everything you use, those guys didn't wear. They wear paper for elbow pads, this and that. You can't compare. Like now you got like kryptonite fucking elbow pads.
Well, actually, it's going in the opposite direction now. It's getting lighter and cheaper.
that's what's getting
which
scary.
is the problem,
It's
yeah.
gonna be, but I'll say this.
No, they're getting lighter because when they got those hard shells there, and that guy, I got a concussion. But don't put yourself in a vulnerable position to that. You turn away. You get away with it. Because people just think you can skate and no one can touch me. When you get fucking touched, you're going to get touched.
Okay, so
Well, we're moving a little bit away from
Okay, we're
what's
getting away,
good,
but
yeah.
I'm going to end the discussion like this because we got to go on to our final points about who's going to win the game.
What was the question?
I originally asked you who you'd rather have, Lemieux or McDavid. You said Lemieux. I never see McDavid cherry pick like Mario Lemieux. That's going to be the deciding factor for me. McDavid goes behind his net and came to the puck.
You can't compare those two.
I compare notes on this. Skating and shooting, that's the one common denominator in the history of the game.
Well, listen, Lemieux is a deceiving skater.
Oh, he's a great skater.
But McDavid is a power skater. Because you know what? Because my mom can go to the best. My mom and dad got money, and they put me in the best hockey school, best fucking this.
That's part of it.
So Lemieux's parents are working, and he doesn't have. Hey, you gotta go. Just go practice out in the backyard. Get a puck and we'll fund the ice.
Okay. I'm gonna give you that.
Training, like.
Okay, I know. Look at Zach. Look at Zach training now. But my point is this.
There you go.
Exactly.
You think if his dad didn't have that thing, my brother should have been in the show.
Yep. Okay.
A lot of stuff, man. Like,
Okay, I agree.
you gotta work.
Okay, so let's discuss this really quick because we got to end the show. We're getting too long. We were under.
There's a lot of politics in that too.
The worst. MTHL, worst politics in the country.
GTHL
Or
now,
GTHL is the worst politics in the league.
Rick
Serge,
West had to do something about that.
I agree, and that everyone says that, even the old pros. But the bottom line is, I'm going to say this: what the common denominator for me is skating and shooting. Bobby Orr could play in today's league. Connor McDavid could play back in the day. That's what I'm saying. Certain guys might not. Mitch Marner might have a little trouble back in the day.
Agreed.
Time out. See what you just said. Connor McDavid could play. Yeah, sure, but you know what? You got to play by their rules. You're going to get a
Agreed.
Agreed,
That's
but I
his
still
point.
think he's going to be there.
You got to be tough enough. You're going to be injured.
McDavid's tougher than he appears.
I know. I'm not knocking McDavid at all. What I'm saying is, it's not just the elite players are going to take your head off. Bobby Hull's going to take your head off.
The guy on the end of the bench could take your head off.
John Velivo. Forget about the third, fourth liner like Backstrom and all these other guys. Everybody's going to take your head off. It's part of the game. It's a team unity.
Bobby Hull was dirtier than you realized.
Oh, I know.
He was dirty to realize. But anyway, let's get back to the main thing here. This series has turned out to be absolutely amazing.
Game 4 in Edmonton was a spectacle. Game 5 too.
Agreed.
Who am I kidding? But Game 4, just like that was.
Wouldn't
my
you
favorite
love
game
to have
watch.
been in the arena?
Oh my! Third period, it turned into karaoke time. There was amazing.
Oh my God! I would pay money to be in an arena at that point. And you know what they were doing? They were still sending the team off because at that point,
Game 7. We want whatever next game happens. Best
course.
team wins. But I'm going to tell you guys there one thing. The Stanley Cup is coming to Shoeys. I'm not telling you why.
I know why.
And how.
I know why.
Either team wins, it's coming here.
He's good.
It's a promise by people.
Okay.
We got that, and I'm getting my picture taken with that with my
And
dog.
the day we have the Stanley Cup here, we're doing the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh yes, 100%. Thank you, Serge. You should be here more often, man. We miss you. We miss you.
But I got shit to do. I got to fucking kill people.
Okay.
Wow.
That's Sing. They're search and destroy people. Okay.
Great song by Metallica.
Of course it is. Anyways, we got to get this show finished.
Seek and destroy.
Seek and destroy. Anyway, we got to get this show on the road. I thought we were going to hit the 2 hours dead on, but we kind of got off.
Yeah, whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Third period in Edmonton. That was fantastic.
Oh.
Shania Twain looking regal in the crowd.
She got to be there Saturday night.
I'm hoping, or tomorrow night rather.
Or tomorrow night, yeah. She's got to be
has to be
there.
the one doing the performance.
Oh,
again. Come on.
you know what? There were so many things that fell in place dominoes-wise for Edmonton. And one of the things was those games.
Take care, Serge.
See us.
To finish it off, the key, don't worry about it. Just lock it. I'm taking the key with me.
How do we get in next time?
You'll be here.
Okay.
For a reason.
Good
Right,
seeing
take
you,
care.
bro. Let's have a beer.
When's the next show?
We're not sure if it's Thursday or Saturday. Probably next Thursday because weekends have been messed.
Saturday?
What? No, because we've been busy on Saturdays. It's summertime.
I'm
No.
at a birthday party.
Yeah,
on
so that's why
Saturday.
we're recording tonight.
No, I won't be there. I gotta get the show online.
Much love, buddy.
All right,
Much
take
love.
care.
Oh, hey, time out. AHL playoffs. Watch it tonight, 7 o'clock.
All right.
Coach Valley against fucking
Hershey, that's right.
2-1 right now, Coach Valley. They won the last game. Tonight, 7 o'clock. Watch that game.
Okay, we will. I love when we have complete mayhem in the middle of the time of the show. I don't know how the production
boy.
values are going to be when you hear that, but we did our best. Now,
It's all staying in.
okay, but that's the way it should be. But anyways, let's get back to the point here. I really believe whoever wins tomorrow night's game wins the Stanley Cup.
Could very well be.
Well, if Florida wins, it's over. We know that. But if they get a Game 7, I think we're going to see one of those, you know, when that classic player rises to the next level and we'll have no more questions about McDavid. Imagine if he comes back like that. Lemieux never did that. Gretzky never did that. Messier never did that. Lafleur never did that. Nobody on Toronto ever did that except for Bill Barocco.
Well, that was like still apps and those guys.
Oh, yeah,
back
that's what I'm
then,
saying.
yeah.
But they did it. But I mean, nobody else has done this. That achievement alone would put him on a pantheon that nobody else will
that'd
ever
be
get
huge.
in the history of hockey. He will be there, and he will have a significant amount of sidekicks that should be respected for helping him get in there. That's Hyman, that's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, that's Bouchard, that's Skinner. Skinner should get some credit. Like, that poor guy's got his ass kicked around the block and then punched in the head, and he's still hanging in.
I'm not buying that if they win Game 6, they win the series though. Because we've seen hockey, it happens a lot. Teams can come back to Game 7, but how many have won Game 7? Only a few. Only a handful.
I'm not sure if Connor McDavid's listening to our show, but he may
Likely
be.
not.
I'm just saying, if he is, I'm in your corner, buddy. I want history.
I
wanna
want
see
it
this
too.
made. This would be just, and I'm not even an Edmonton fan. I'm just saying that what has happened in the last, especially the game the other night, Edmonton went tick for tack with the banging.
Yeah.
Which was huge in Florida's building.
I'm a little bit worried though, because Florida's second period, they started to wake up.
Oh, they did. Third period, I thought they were going to tie it. I was a little worried, but this is what drives me
That
crazy.
Kachuk diving, that was incredible.
That was unbelievable. Okay, but that's how much you value the game. I want that guy on my team. Okay?
Yeah.
But here's what's driving me nuts. And I think I told you this last night, NBA and NHL. Oh, we're in playoff hockey time. Stop it. If it's a goal, it's a goal. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. If you're instigating, it's instigating. Oh, well, we got to change the game now because it's playoffs. I don't think that's fair to me as a fan. I don't think that's fair to the guys on the ice. But that's just the way it works out. It's like they got a book. Okay, book 1, regular season. Book 2, the playoffs. Book 3, Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, that's how it works, pretty much.
You're damn right. I heard Gretzky say something.
I was just going to say.
Gretzky said
it's like
something.
3 seasons or whatever.
3 seasons. I looked at it. I said, "Oh, he's got a point there, doesn't he?" But that doesn't mean you change the bottom line of how you ref or play or judge the game.
Reffing especially, yes.
Yeah, but they do. Look at the other night in that game. Florida should have had at least 4 instigator things when they had the big scrum behind the net and everything got nuts and the referee's grabbing and I could hear the referees yelling, "One more, you go in the box." They're saying shit on the ice we can't hear.
Sure.
That's quite obvious. But the Florida guys kept pulling up the elbows, grabbing another guy, seeing what they could get into. And they're not going to call an instigator because it's bad in either team.
Well, you can't call an instigator if there's no fight.
I'm saying knock one of those Florida guys out and play the best penalty kill you can because the Edmonton
No, I'm not risking that.
I know.
Let Florida play that stupid game.
I shouldn't say that because you never give up a power play. That's what you shouldn't be doing in the playoffs.
Especially in the playoffs, especially in the final.
Especially in the final. But it just irritates me a bit that I see things going on. For example, I've heard that Draisaitl was game 52 would be suspended.
I don't buy that.
I don't buy it either. He left his feet a bit. It wasn't a dirty play. And guess what? If the shoe was on the other foot, you know what I mean? And then I heard one of those things where they say on the show, and I don't believe this. I'll give him top 10, but Barkov's, if they win the Stanley Cup, is he suddenly a top 5 player in the league?
I would say he's up there.
Not top 5.
Maybe.
No. Okay, I'll give you my top 5 right now. McKinnon, McDavid, Kyle McCarr, Kucherov, if he has to win.
I'm taking Barkov over Kucherov any day.
What if he wins the MVP?
Who, Barkov?
No, Barkov ain't winning the MVP.
I don't care who wins the MVP. That's some stupid vote. I know who I want on my team, and it's Barkov. I want the two-way center any day of the week.
Okay, so I won't take. Who am I missing then?
You can take
Matthews. Matthews.
Of course.
Okay, so that's 4, right?
Draisaitl.
5.
Okay, fine. That's your 5.
Okay, so
Barkov's right there, though. I'm putting him above Kucherov.
Probably starting next season I would too, just because of his two-way tenacity. I still say he's a top 10 guy. But to make a leap suddenly in the top 5, that's
well, top 10, top 5.
That's a huge difference. You know what I mean? And Barkov
depends on how the curve is.
Is his team in the Four Nations? Isn't it?
Yeah, Finland.
He's going to be the 6th guy. When they name their 6th guy,
he's going to be captain of the team.
Oh, that's a great way to hear it. So you don't think that they'll win? You don't say Game 6 winner win the Stanley Cup?
I don't buy that unless Florida wins, of course. But
okay, which I'm hoping I'm not. But I got that. You know what it is? I'm a little older than you, and there's some trends that happen. They don't always do, but there's something smells like because the fact that they won the other night, that put a whole new slant on. Because I thought that Edmonton was celebrating their great season. See you next year. Didn't you feel that way when they were leaving after Game 4 the other night?
No.
You thought they'd win another game?
I thought they were going to play their asses off.
Oh, I did too, but I didn't expect them necessarily to win.
The way
Great
the way Florida played in the second half of that game, especially, makes me think we're in for a dogfight. I wouldn't be shocked if Florida wins.
I'm expecting a fight.
Ooh, maybe.
I think that the tensions have risen so high that someone's got to knock somebody out.
Who's your money on to drop the gloves?
Kachuk could be one.
Draisaitl?
Maybe, but I think...
Although he might be fighting an injury or something because something's up with him.
A little bit, yeah, but I'm going to say, but they won't be on the same time as a fight. Corey Perry would freaking get in on that. It's not going to be a Ryan Nugent.
Kachuk's not going to fight Corey Perry.
Okay, but it's not going to be a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It's not going to be a Hyman.
No.
Connor Brown could stand up to him, but he might take a beating.
He's a little small.
But I'm saying I smell there's going to be a fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if it's Nurse.
Speaking of Connor Brown, this guy's making his salary for next year.
Already. God bless him. Yep. Beautiful shorthanded goal.
Oh, just break open that game, yeah.
Oh, it was so good. One of the best hockey games of the whole series the other night, Game 5 in Florida. That's why
action.
But that's why we watch hockey, bro.
Yep.
It was so good. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
How much does it suck to be the family of the Panthers, though, having to go back and forth?
But that's what McKinnon says. That's the distraction. You took so much time probably to get all your people out to Edmonton because you wanted to be them to witness the Stanley Cup that you had distractions. Probably took you 30 minutes to pull all that garbage away before you got to play. Like McKinnon said, the thing that when they lost Game 5 and then they won Game 6 when the Stanley Cup, when they had a clinching game, you know what he said pissed him off more than anything? People, where's the party after the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get my tickets yet. Oh, did you pick up somebody's girlfriend? So he goes, we're going to play for the Stanley Cup Final, and I got 16 things got nothing to do with the game that are dragging me down when we get on the game and we lose. He goes, I was more pissed losing that game than any game he's ever played in his life. And then they won the next game, so it's okay. But I want McKinnon. After you hear these interviews, you hear him talking.
Oh, he's that guy that hates to lose more than he loves to win.
I want that guy on my team so badly. And you know what?
And I don't have to tell you why I'm a McKinnon guy.
Oh, I know that. Anyway. You know what his goal is? To play on a line with. He wants to play. He wants to move to the wing for the Ford Cup.
Oh, for the okay. I'd keep him at center. I think.
Oh, that's I say. You got McDavid and
McKinnon, Crosby, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, and Crosby's your checking center. I like the thought.
Yeah,
but you know,
I'd move Barzal to the wing.
Oh, another guy. He'll go to the wing too. Yeah, because he's going to make the team. But imagine you're going out there and you got McKinnon getting passes from McDavid.
Yeah, insane.
With
Power
Hyman
play.
and Hyman on the other leg. And they said that he was out golfing with Sid, and they've been already barnstorming on the team, which is just amazing.
Well, we should keep this with the finals for now. Okay. One last thing. McDavid, he's Conn Smythe Trophy winner, win or lose. That's my take.
Wow. I know. You know what? You're not the only one saying that, but I think
he has to.
Even when you lose,
he's lapping the field.
Unbelievable.
He's lapping. Bobrovsky, I think he's played the last couple of games. I think lost him the award personally.
I think if they win tomorrow night, Barkov will get it.
I think it's McDavid either way.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But if it had to go to a Florida player, I think it would go to Barkov.
Yeah, I think it's going to go now. I just hope the game is as good as the one we just saw. I
so too.
love hockey like that. Now I'm going to give one point here. Serge, I hope you listen to the show. You can compare eras when you get to the third period, and it's called hard work and determination. Mm-hmm. That crosses every generation.
Cream rises.
You got it. So I'm going to say, before we say this or that, cream rises, hard work wins. Did you hear Tom Brady at his enshrinement for the New England?
Yeah.
You hear what he said? None of us are special. It's how hard you work and how hard you want it. And I went, wow, Brady, what a great experience.
I don't completely believe that, but I like the sentiment.
I think you do. Got to work hard. Even
yeah, but like the whole thing of like they won because they wanted it more. I don't think that actually works. I think talent does eventually.
Oh, I got cream to the top. I do, but I'm saying sometimes that one extra battle in the corner, Connor Brown scoring on a shorthanded goal.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Those little things could put you over the edge, which just means that you work harder, you go for it, you do whatever. Good luck to the Edmonton Oilers. In your Gretzky days, in your Messier days, I never really cheered for you guys back then either. However, just for the greatness of Connor McDavid, I'm hoping for a spectacular performance tomorrow night.
And to beat the schmucks from Florida.
Thank you very much. Sam Bennett, I hope you get a flat tire.
We have some unfortunate news on the passing of Willie Mays, died at 88 the other day.
93.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Donald Sutherland. He died at 88 today.
Yes, God bless Donald Sutherland. Some of my favorite movie characters, Dirty Dozen, Clute, Kelly's Heroes. What else? I have to think of
the original Hawkeye in MASH.
Original Hawkeye in MASH. The MASH, yeah. Oh, no. Donald Sutherland, a great Canadian.
Yes.
God bless
Order
him.
of Canada.
Yep.
Willie Mays died at 93. 24-time All-Star, 1951 NL Rookie of the Year, 1954 World Series champion, 2-time NL MVP, 12 Gold Gloves, 1979 Hall of Fame.
The catch.
And the basket catch, of course. Game 1 of that World Series. Yeah.
With men on base, second and third. 2 out. Makes the catch. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to say this about, okay?
Still considered the greatest player of all time by many people.
Jack Cruz, when they say, who's the greatest baseball player of all time? First word come out of my mouth. Willie Mays. I had people very young make me watch him in the 60s when I was a kid. I don't know who the hell Willie Mays is, but he was damn good. And you know what they used to argue about? You know Joe DiMaggio's ego went through the roof, right?
Yeah.
When he was announced, at any place he'd go, he had to be announced as the greatest living baseball player, Joe DiMaggio. Wait a second, Willie Mays was out there. Hank Aaron was out there. DiMaggio was a star. Don't get me wrong. One of the
He
greats
does
of
have
all
that
time.
hitting streak.
Oh, never be broken. But how can you say that? So I'm saying, as of yesterday, Willie Mays was the greatest living player that was yet to be walking the face of the earth. Excellent player. He got a good life, lived a long time. God bless him. His accolades are second to none. They didn't call him the Say Hey Kid for nothing. What a great nickname. You know, everything that encapsulated baseball, the reason why it was America's game, why it brought us to this generation is guys like Willie Mays. So before...
The epitome of a five-tool player.
Oh, he's the guy in the book. Five-tool player, they start with Willie Mays. The Mick's right behind him. That's another story. So right now, I'm going to ask you a question before we leave Willie Mays. Who is the greatest living baseball player of all time? Living. I got my guy in my back pocket. I ain't even thinking about it. Got him right away. Who would you say it is? Greatest living baseball player right now.
Oh, man, that's tough.
Bob Gibson's no longer here.
No.
Okay, whatever. I
got one that comes to mind. You're not going to like it, though.
Okay, you want me to tell you mine first?
Sure.
Ken Griffey Jr.
I knew you were going to say him.
It's written all over my face. Matt, Gaff, you heard that? I said Ken Griffey Jr.
There's three that come to mind for me. Ken Griffey's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Not on my list. One of them a little controversial, Barry Bonds.
I like Griffey better.
I know
juiced.
you do.
He's juiced. Griff never juiced. So he's
Fair
out there.
enough,
Okay.
but you are who you are. Mike Trout. Then I'd put Ohtani on that list, too.
Not long enough. Otani hasn't been around long enough. He could be in time, but I'm saying...
He's incredible, though.
Oh, yeah, he is. Especially when he gets back to pitching. It's going to be there. But I'm going with my boy Griffey. The problem with Griffey's never won anything.
Well, neither of these two that I mentioned,
But
the three that I
Bonds got
mentioned
to
as well.
Bonds got to the World Series. Griffey didn't.
Yeah.
That's the difference there. But any event, God bless Willie Mays, all the contributions you made to baseball, and setting an example for the black youth of America back in the day.
Amen. Yep. We'll turn this over to my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone in the world's favorite segment. It's the Gospel According to Cruz.
Why, thank you. I grew up in South Windsor, Ontario, and though I was born in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, the foundation of my devotion to sports was keenly developed on 2886 Drive, a big 2686 Skyline Drive, a big 8-minute drive to the American border, and the Detroit skyline was as familiar to me as the CN Tower is to Torontonians. What you don't realize while living as a Windsorite is the fact that you become extremely Americanized, and your view of the world is not as Canadian as you tended it to believe. Add in the fact my father was an American, and our family spent copious amounts of time in Providence, Rhode Island, a New England state not far from Boston, where sports to this day is a part of life. I mean, damn, those hated Celtics just won another championship, cementing their belief that they are a city of champions. I hate everything about Boston. However, I was fortunate enough to have an uncle live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He took me to the big house for the first time when I was 12, and you wonder why I'm a Wolverine disciple? Though my father was not a big sports guy, all of my uncles were sports junkies, and they went a long way to opening all the avenues of sports to me, and I soaked it up like a sponge. Remember, I graduated high school in 1977. By this time, my beloved Habs were on a historic Cup championship run. Billy Martin had already managed and left the Detroit Tigers. My Lions were being my Lions till the great Billy Sims arrived, and the Pistons were still an afterthought. I was saddened to hear my favorite first Wolverine football player, Dennis Franklin, a quarterback, would not be an NFL QB because the league was void of black players at the time at that position. Really bummed me out. I also understand the Olympics were tainted back then because the world's amateurs were competing against communist professionals. But that's a story for another time. My boy John McEnroe was tearing up the tennis court, Secretariat was becoming a legend, and the Leafs ran to another conference to duck the Habs, who were shit-kicking them on a regular basis. One playoff series in about 40 years, and the Leafs are our rivals? Stop it. Anyways, I moved to the Big Smoke some 43 years ago, and though I thought I was well-versed in the world of sports, there was a couple of significant sporting events that were going on for decades that I was clueless about, and that was the World Cup and the Euro Cup. And apparently, the rightful owners of the word football. I heard of Pele and George Best, but really, was soccer anything that a big deal? Apparently, it is. Being bamboozled by all this Americana, I had no idea soccer was the biggest sport on the planet. My first dose of pitch mania was witnessed in '82 when Italy won the World Cup. The Italian community rocked the city on winning and still does to this day. Then I was introduced to this thing called the Euro Cup, a spectacle that belonged to the old world and over the years has been fiercely combated for like it was World War III. Besides, most European nations have good, bad, and ugly relationships in their history, and it still amazes me that sometimes the competition still harbors long past social, economic, and political grievances. England, Germany, Portugal, Spain, Serbia, Croatia. Just to dig into their very long historical relationships, and you'll see that that's what it is. As a Southwestern kid now living in the GTA as long as I have, I realize it's a big, bad world, not America all the time, as I grew up to be weaned on. I understand the rivalries, the powerhouses, and the David versus Goliath. However, do I really know the games of international football? So the 2024 Europe Cup is underway, and since I have all the time in the world, I decided to immerse myself into this year's event. As of this writing, I have watched 90% of the entire tournament. What have I learned? As a South Windsor Americanized sports junkie, there are things that I can't grasp due to my ignorance to the minutiae of the game. Why does the emergency room of the local hospital show up on the field when a player lands on the pitch after doing a dive with a 3.5 twist in the pike position? You can't trip, pull, or on a guy, and if you do, you get a yellow card. Assault someone, you get a red card, a red flag, whatever. A foul is a foul is a foul, until it's flagrant. I wish they had a purple card. Maybe they can flash one every time a player does a fake flop. The strategies are different. Is it a 2-3-2-3? Is it a 3-2-3-2 defense? You got to do something with 10 guys floating around the massive fields. And what about injury timeouts and offsides? I saw Belgium disallowed 2 goals for offside. One I kind of got, the other, not so sure. But I am learning. Now when players are apparently hurt on the field, why don't they just stop the clock? I guess that's North American style. But adding what appears to be random added injury time confuses me. I bet it drives the gamblers crazy. However, soccer is called the beautiful game, and I must confess I've seen beautiful moments. Tremendous kicks, pinpoint passes, fierce defense, and the constant emergence of new stars. I like the strategies of countries. Denmark with its coordinated defense, Spain with its attack, and that French flavor. And yes, I am watching some of the greatest athletes in the world today. We at the House That Happens champion the highest level of competition, and I've come to believe the Euro Cup is just that. That being said, I'm staying immersed in the tourney for 2 reasons. 1, how much I learn about the nuances of the game, and 2, the frenetic play of teams that fire up their fan bases. I can't wait for the knockout round because I hate ties. Oh, wait. I'll probably bitch about the shootouts, but until then, let's go Belgium.
And that's the gospel according to Cruz.
You got it. What do you think, buddy?
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
So in the UK, like in the English soccer system, I think they were experimenting with like a blue card or something for like a next tier down of fouls.
That's what got me the idea about the purple.
Yeah.
One of the guys in the game was talking about that. I'm going, what? They're going to add another card? That's why I threw in the purple crack. Because I heard they're thinking about adding something to it. But I will admit this. We are watching some of the greatest athletes in the world today. When you watch Euro Cup, I'm talking football, baseball, basketball, swimming, tennis, golf, all that shit. These guys are top of the line, unbelievable athletes, okay? Now, they get to coast a bit sometimes. But when they got to make those spurts diving in the air, some of the kicks, like the couple of goals we talked about, I'm not totally convinced I'll be the biggest soccer fan for the rest of my life. However, I'm thoroughly enjoying the tournament.
Absolutely. I am too. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. Should be a great weekend. Do you have anything planned?
Yes, I do. I'm going to see a band called the Teskey Brothers tomorrow at Saturday night at Massey Hall, courtesy of my good buddy Johnny Mav, and I know squat about this band.
Should be fun.
That's the greatest. I'm hoping to get out of here in time to go see the Frank Zappa tribute tonight, but I doubt that I will because I still got to walk my dog.
I feel that.
And you know
We're supposed to get any rain tonight? Hopefully not.
I'm hoping not either. Anyway, Finnegan, we're going to go out. The weather's going to be better. Big shout out for Serge popping in, by the way.
Yeah, not used to that.
No, but it was about time in the news that we heard about Chewy. Oh, yeah, it's a secret. Keep the secret. Shh. Anything else you want to bring up?
That's about it.
Could we have a shout out to Radica?
Shout out to Radica. I'm seeing her tomorrow night.
That's a good thing. Take care of my boy Milani here. He's been doing a great job. Anything else before we go?
That is just about it.
Go Sluggers!
Go San Fran Sluggers.
Thank you. And you know, and now this show is over, we just want to say, hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And what do?
We keep the vibe alive. You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.